All right, perfect. And we are live. Box to Box, episode number 6. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. If you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe buttons, comment down below. A lot of hot takes we're going to have on this episode today. I got a feeling it's another banger. Really pumped for it. A little bit of a change of pace for today. Normally, we have Andre. Alina's here with us today, our typical co hosts. Andre's out. Guy's sick. I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe he's hungover. Started the NFL season today. That's probably it. Who knows? But either way, I'm glad in his place we're able to bring in a guest, a friend, someone who I think is going to be probably back on the show a couple different times. Another Serie A fan like our fellow Alina, another
Woo.
Juve fan, which is they're kind of seldom, kind of hard to find in
Perfect.
this day and age. But nonetheless, we got him on the show. Christian,
Yes,
otherwise known
sir.
as Christian XC7. How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm chilling,
You're
bro.
good.
Chilling. This is
You're
gonna
good.
be a great show. I'm super excited for it. I think that we're gonna get hopefully more than a few Serie A spicy takes, especially considering that in this week where we're recording on the 11th of September,
Yeah.
no Premier League football. Rest in peace, the Queen. She passed away this past week, and we might be looking at another potential week or two of no Premier League football. I think it kind of depends on UK and how they're gonna the government will approach it, but nonetheless, the world doesn't stop. We keep going, and there's a ton to talk about. We're going to jump right into it. I know there's no Premier League football this weekend, but we can't get away from the fucking zinger of a headline that I think most of us woke up to on midweek. Might have been like Wednesday, Thursday. Um, Chelsea making the first, what I consider major move managerial wise. We had Bournemouth already go ahead and remove themselves from Scott Parker, but that was already kind of expected after the 9-0 drubbing that Liverpool gave them. But this is a giant headline because everything Tuchel's accomplished, I think, with Chelsea in his first 18 months. Tuchel fired. He is out. Graham Potter is in. Giant story. And every media outlet in the world broke it the day it happened. So we're not going to jump into, those kind of early stage conversations of why Tuchel got fired. I think we'll give our own reason today. But let's start with Alina really quick. Alina, considering everything we talked about with Chelsea on this show, right? Even up to this point, all the players they brought in, the 200 plus million they spent on defenders alone. Does this move seem really, I don't know, impulsive? Like how did Chelsea even get here?
I think in a way it is impulsive because for me, when you start a project with a manager, you finish that project at the end of the season and then you kind of reevaluate. So I've
Yeah.
never like been a fan of sacking coaches like, in the first like 2 to 3 months. If anything, maybe reevaluate around like the winter break. But for me, like prematurely sacking coaches is never the best. But with that in mind, I feel like we haven't really realized, like, we haven't been given the information as to why he got sacked because it could be like a bunch of things, right? Like maybe he lost the locker room, maybe the players are just not listening to him anymore, the motivation is not there. So there's a number of things that could have caused this sacking, and I feel like I don't know. I think
Okay, but
with
let's say it's the players, right? You mentioned that it
yeah.
could be he lost the locker room. If he did, what is this guy who has never coached a Big Six club going to be able to come in and do in terms of rallying those players, getting their buy-in, getting them back on track? I just I don't know if there is a big name manager, and there are guys like Pochettino that are still on the market, guys like Zidane who those names were floating around like crazy before Graham Potter got hired. It's just it felt like with how fast it happened and how fast they got Potter right back into the interview process. Do you think like if that was the issue, is this the guy to turn it around? I mean, like how do you get those players back and bought in to the long season that's ahead? We're still in September.
Yeah, I think because of how well Potter has been doing so far with Brighton, I
Yeah.
think they didn't want to like for example, if they got Zidane, which I feel like we all know low key that his only destination that he wants to go to is France, probably after the World Cup. That's what he's going for. He's won Champions League, he's coached, probably one of the best, if not the best Champions League teams ever, that the Madrid team with Ronaldo and all those guys. So and I believe he also won La Liga with them during one of those seasons. So
Yeah.
the next thing he wants to do, I believe, is just take France into the next Euros and try to win that with them again. Um, but I think what Chelsea wanted to do was, number 1, get the players playing together again for the coach, and number 2, they wanted a coach who is familiar, obviously, with Premier League, and I believe that's, like, one of the reasons why they didn't go after Zidane. Not that Zidane didn't reject it, but hypothetically speaking, let's say Zidane was open to the idea. I feel
Okay.
like, and this is shocking, but I do think Potter is a better fit for Chelsea than Zidane. This might be a hot take as well, but
That would actually be a
yeah,
crazy hot take,
yeah.
considering the man has what, 3 Champions League titles?
Yes,
Um,
yes, but number 1 for me, he's doing really well right now.
yeah.
He's shown that he can kind of, like, unite a locker room with just, like, average players like Brighton have. And I don't know, I think if they stay with him for a couple years, at least a couple seasons, 3 seasons, then we can see what he can do, but let's see. Let's see if he's gonna get sacked like the 6 coaches before him.
Seriously, it's so many. I mean, Christian, like and look, you're a Juve fan, bro. If anybody
Yes.
knows what it's like to see managers come in and out in that revolving door, it's you guys, it's you and Alina. So,
Yup.
if you're talking to a Chelsea fan who's maybe, look, man, I imagine the Prem has several, bandwagon fans. I think Chelsea probably just
Yeah.
being one of the big 6. For those new fans who aren't quite as used to this revolving door that started with Abramovich, and Alina and I were talking about this,
Mhm.
before the show, since 2000, since the first Mourinho era, right? Since post Invincibles
Yeah.
when he came in 2004, since that era when he left in '07, they haven't had a manager stay longer than any period between 6 to 18 months. That's kind of been the
Mm,
sweet spot.
Mhm.
You have some guys like, I think, Scolari or Ancelotti that pushed 2 years. And not everybody got fired. There are some managers that just left or took better
yeah.
opportunities for themselves. But the theme is that managers just don't last long at Chelsea. We thought that maybe that would change with I'm sorry, Abramovich, having to move on from the club. They bring in new American owner Todd Bowley, a baseball guy, not a football guy. Um, what are the fans thinking right now with Tuchel, who's won them a Champions League, moving out, and Graham Potter, who has yet to be on a stage this big, coming in? I mean, if you're putting yourself, Christian, in those Chelsea fans' shoes, how are you going to be
Yeah.
coaching them up, bro? I mean, like what can they expect? Can they
It,
can they get excited about this?
I'm gonna say it's hard, man, because I'm gonna put it in perspective as a Juve fan. When we lost Sorry, who was a good coach, we should not have lost. I'm telling you, they gave him 1 season and then they sacked him for Pirlo. No coaching
Alina's made
experience.
that same too. Yeah,
It's true because it's man, like Pirlo was coaching the under 23s, not even for. I don't even think he coached them for a game. He had the job, and they sacked Sorry, and we're like, you know what, we're gonna bring Pirlo up. I'm telling you, that was the worst mistake we did because they used him as if maybe we're going to win the league, we're going to win a Scudetto, we're going to win Coppa Italia, we're going to win Champions League. We won. Man, they gave him no chance. And I think Chelsea is going to be the same thing, man. Like, Tuchel is an amazing, amazing coach. And for them to sack him over one, I don't even know. It could be just be the game that they just played in Champions League, losing 1-0. It could be that. Or it could be players with like the
but it
relationship.
can't be just that one game though,
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm
like
saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
okay, so that loss was embarrassing. Let's be honest, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
If you guys
I would be
watched the game,
embarrassed.
it was Ziyech looked terrible. I
Yep.
feel like their midfield couldn't figure out. Not only was Zagreb getting like chances and like very gaping chances. I mean, even the goal itself, it came on a breakaway that I felt like
Yeah.
I don't know, the center back just completely got split in a gap that wasn't there, automatically became apparent to everyone. They were getting sliced wide open, but even past that, offensively, they didn't really start playing until the final 10 minutes. It was really weird to watch. And keep in mind, this is a team, Zagreb, that Barcelona's C team last season beat twice, 1-0,
Yeah.
and a bunch of kids basically walked in there and got the W. So I agree it was embarrassing, but I just don't think it was that one. I mean, if it was that one,
Leeds.
why? Leeds was holy
That was
shit.
that was a that was a sad game.
But why spend
Uh,
that? My only issue with this is why spend that much money? Why drop that much cash, especially for a business guy? Keep in mind, Todd Bowley, as an owner, he's a big private equity guy. He's a guy who came
yeah.
up passive income, a self-made man. A lot of kind of investment strategy that went into building up his net worth into what it is. So he understands what it is to run a business the right way. I just don't think it's good business to spend 200 plus million on players in a single window and then fire the manager less than a week after the window's done. It's just, I'm
Yeah.
struggling to make sense out of all of it. But with that said, I don't think we'll ever really know. I think at the end of the day, it might have been more personal between Bowley and Tuchel. I think I heard some rumblings that, and you guys are Juve fans, so I'm really curious for your take here. There were some rumblings that Bowley wanted Ronaldo, really wanted Ronaldo, and he
I
asked
heard
Yeah.
about
Tuchel
that. Yeah.
It was talked about.
multiple times to get him. And I mean, I don't know. Would Ronaldo? I don't know. Would Ronaldo have saved Tuchel's job? Alina, can we go? Can we get like kind of lean out on that limb and say that maybe if he had just like entertained that idea for a second, would Tuchel still be there?
I think I want to go back briefly to your point about why would the ownership spend 200 million and
Yeah.
then sack Tuchel. And what I'd say to that is, I feel like we kind of like answered that question. That guy is a businessman. He needs this team to do well, and the team is not doing well. So he's going to continue to lose money if
Well, that's
he
fair.
doesn't figure his shit out. But here's the thing, though, I do blame the management because we cannot be only blaming like Tuchel or the players or whatever who's gone, who's left Chelsea. The management is in shambles. Honestly, they've had like different ownership
Do
and
they even
different things,
have
different
management though?
ideas. No, I don't even know because it's clearly not worked out for them. They haven't had like a project or a coach that they've built with throughout the at least the 10 last years. But um go can you restate your question again?
Well,
Kind of
so
got
I'm
sidetracked.
no, no, yeah, yeah. So I guess the question I have at the end of the day is if Ronaldo,
Mm.
that came up so often throughout everything, right? Bowley wanted this. Tuchel said no, and everyone knows Tuchel's a stubborn man. He wants to do things his way, and it's worked for him in certain clubs. In other clubs, it just hasn't. But I think that you're spending all this money, you're backing your manager, and you're asking your manager for certain things. Ronaldo being one of those things that just came up time and time again. If Tuchel, knowing that Bowley was making all of these transfers for him, spending all this money on the players he wanted, could Tuchel just have thrown him a bone? Like if he said, you know what, fine, fuck it. If you want Ronaldo, you really think he's going to be the striker that we need? We don't have to go after Aubameyang. We'll get Ronaldo instead. Would that have saved his job? Like would Tuchel still be here if they had gone out, gotten Ronaldo, and Aubameyang remained at Barcelona? We're not even talking about this now. Would that be the case, or do you think that it still probably would have panned out the same way?
Well, I think the whole Ronaldo situation is just kind of it's kind of weird and iffy because like we've seen now over the last year that he just does not fit the Premier League style. Like he's not the guy that's going to go out there and press. And a lot of the teams in Premier League require everyone to be pressing. Ronaldo is kind of, that guy. At least in the past like 3 or 4 years that I've seen him with Juve, he stays up there, he doesn't press, he wants the service and he wants it quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm not too familiar with how Potter plays, or at least like from the games that I've seen this season from Chelsea, they haven't even had that striker, kind of like that target man striker in front after they lost Lukaku. And I mean, the guy didn't even like Lukaku, so straight up, maybe he just does not like a striker to be standing there. And I feel like that's what Ronaldo would have played like, because you're not gonna play him on the left wing and have him like cut in like he did with Madrid and he kind of did with Juve. He's not gonna
Hmm.
do that. So
Yeah.
I would he have saved his job? Maybe, but he would have required the whole team to switch around. And this is kind of what you have to do when you have Ronaldo. Like you either change your whole system to fit one guy, or he's going to be on the bench. You're going to play him from the bench like he's doing right now at United, because United are not willing to change their whole system just to fit one guy, which
Yeah.
I
We
think is
all.
fine because he's 38 now. So it's, you don't have that much time to work around.
Yeah. If there's any league that embraces modern football, it's Prem. And when I say modern football, I mean fast, cohesive, physical, and week in and week out, no easy matches. And I think that Prem is everything on that front. Not that it diminishes leagues like La Liga or Serie A or Bundesliga and Liga are kind of special in my opinion. But like nonetheless, like I agree wholeheartedly. I think Ronaldo would have been a bad move. I don't know if anything really would have saved Tuchel. I think where he might have gone wrong, it's just I think at the end of the day, I have yet and I've gone back through some of the press conferences. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I have yet to see this season where, and this actually dates back to when Chelsea got beat 4-0 or 4-1, whatever it might have been, by Arsenal in the preseason here in the States.
Mm.
Even back to that point, Tuchel was never taking responsibility. I think, and this could have stemmed from the fact that like Bowley removed all of his staff. Petr Cech was gone. A certain amount of the backroom staff were gone when he came in, and Tuchel had to be both director of football and the manager at the same time, which no manager really has to do, right? So that's a difficult fucking thing. But I think that what I'm getting at is all of that probably created some layer of bad blood between them, maybe. But I think Tuchel also never really took responsibility, whether it be from decisions he made, substitutions he made. It was always either the refs or the players' fault as to why Chelsea didn't win a match or drew a match or dropped points somewhere along the way. I think that maybe enough just became enough, right? Like it could have just been that, and they might have tried to find a way to embrace a manager who truly backs their players the way someone like Graham Potter does. So with that said, jumping into maybe less on why Tuchel was fired and more why Potter should or should not succeed. Are there any predictions? I mean, do we think he turns this around? Keep in mind, and let's start with Christian here. Chelsea's sixth in the are they sixth in the table? Sixth in the table. So Brighton being fourth in the table, not a huge gap between those two teams. Still pretty early in the season. I mean, there's no way to make moves now. Usually when a manager comes in, they have the ability in the offseason to make some moves that makes that team theirs now, and it can run a system that they're used to. You kind of have to take this team, what you have, and conform it to whatever system he wants to implement midseason. So do we think Potter could turn this around? Do we think that let's look at some of the big games here too, because I think that this is something super important to look at. So Christian, let's start with you, man. You know, sixth in the table. Chelsea want to be
Yeah.
minimum top four, but the way that it's looking, they still have United in front of them. Brighton still playing good football, and then the front three of Arsenal, City, and Tottenham. Is Graham Potter the guy, bro? In your mind, do you think he's gonna be the one to kind of put them back into a Champions League spot?
I'm gonna say him just coming in like super, like out of nowhere, them firing Tuchel. I mean, that was probably the worst move. But I'm gonna say I don't think Chelsea fans should expect like, oh, we're gonna be top three, top two, we're gonna win we're gonna win the league, we're gonna win Champions League. Like that's kind of out the window at this point. That's just my opinion. I don't think like the chemistry's not there. They don't. The manager doesn't know the players don't know the manager. And I like this reference a lot. Mourinho said it. I think he said it when he was with United that a manager can only do so much with the team, and it's up to the team when they get on the pitch. And I think that's how it goes. I could be paraphrasing a bit, but like the manager can't play for you. It's not FIFA. You can't control the players. So, I mean, Chelsea has a lot of good talent, but talent can only get you so far. And they spent a lot of money. They got Fofana, they got Zachariah, and I think they got Zachariah
He
there in the
hasn't even
midfield.
played a minute yet. That's what's crazy about it.
I know.
Alba played 60 minutes, and Zakaria has yet to play a minute. Yet they were both technically Tuchel signings. It blows my
Yep.
fucking mind.
Yeah, he didn't make a sign, so we don't even know how he's gonna want to play. These are Tuchel signings. These are the players that he wants, that he liked for his game. Potter's just like, all right, I'm gonna just take over. And he has no
Potter,
idea. It's like,
Potter's a young man guy. He's very
yeah,
much a young talent. Breeding talent as young as you possibly can. And look, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I still think he could get something out of this team in the early days because there is
for
that
sure.
that theme of like the new manager bounce, right? Kind of like that honeymoon phase when
Hmm.
players want to impress the new manager that comes in, regardless of how they've been playing. And like for the first few matches after that, they look a little bit better until reality sets in. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe we get some of that. I don't know, Alina. They have Salzburg on Wednesday in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Graham Potter could have an impact, a positive impact, as soon as this week, or is that
I
is that too, like unfair?
I think he will. I think I agree with you with the honeymoon phase that you're talking about. I think he will have relatively positive results for the first 2 months or so, and then we're gonna see him kind of like fall off because that locker room effect is just kind of gonna fade away. And I think it's interesting because when we were talking about that, I got reminded of Bologna today. They sacked their coach, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
And they won today against Fiorentina, which Fiorentina are a decent team. They press high, they attack. Can they score? I don't know. They've had a problem with scoring lately, but it's an incredible thing to beat Fiorentina if you're Bologna. But this is kind of like one example of a new coach.
There's another one too. This happened yesterday, right? With in
Yeah,
Germany, Leipzig sacked. Can't remember his name, but they brought in Marco Rosa, who actually used to coach at
mm,
Leipzig once upon a time, and played against or coached this yesterday against his old team in Dortmund, and thrashed him like 3-0.
yeah,
I mean, we'll talk about it later, but it's just I agree with you. It's I think there's something like internally with players, they want to prove something to the new manager, especially
yeah.
if some of those players were out of favor with the former manager. So I think before we wrap up this segment, I think, is there a player you both are hoping benefits from the Tuchel firing and the Graham Potter appointment that maybe really wasn't getting a lot of love before? I think the first player that is probably easy for most American fans to throw out there is like Pulisic, right? Maybe there's an opportunity for him to see some love, but I mean, is there someone on that Chelsea roster that like, hey, maybe now this is his time to shine? Alina, let's start with you.
I'm gonna go with Zakaria because I want him to do well,
The Juve.
and I want Chelsea to buy him, like an obligation to buy, so we can get the money. So we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take the
I'll
money
take
part.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Zakaria. All right, Christian.
Yeah, I was just exaggerating too, but I think for like another player I'm gonna say is probably maybe Reece James. I think, in my opinion, it could be a hot take already. I'm gonna say I think he's better than Trent. I'm not gonna lie. I like his
Mm.
play style. He can defend. Like Trent does not defend. Like he does not come back. If you watch Liverpool games, this guy cannot defend. He gets smoked by Vinicius against Real Madrid. Like I don't know, but yeah, I would say Reece James. I think he can definitely prove himself this season. Hopefully, I want to see, but yeah, he's like
Yeah,
probably one of my best fullbacks right now. I think, in my opinion.
yeah. I think, bro. I don't think it's a hot take, man. I think he's, in my opinion, he's better than Trent in a lot of ways. Not even just defending. I would even
Yeah,
go as far as saying attacking too. I think that there's
yeah,
a
he's
lot that
yeah,
he does that Trent's a fucking assist master, and I love it. He's just a free kick specialist. The guy's got a wicked foot. But
Mhm.
I think when you think about everything, pushing forward, taking the right spaces, making the right runs, not being afraid to get into the 18 and shoot, and then equally transitioning right back into defense, he's never just standing around. Um, knock on wood, Trent. I mean, we all saw him against Napoli, right? Two goals where the guy just didn't even fucking move.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take at all, bro. For me, the guy that I'm hoping outside of Pulisic is Broya. Armando Broya, someone that I think
Yeah.
was a fucking lightning rod at Southampton last season as a loanee. He's back at Chelsea now, his home club. He's an academy player. I think Graham Potter loves young talent. I'm expecting him to be more prominent, and hopefully they can lean on him a little bit more, and guys like Aubameyang a little bit less. Nothing against Alba. He played at Arsenal and Barca. I love both clubs. It's just that he's 30, 32, 33. It's just
Yeah.
he's,
Yeah.
you want that guy to come off the bench in like the last 20, 30 minutes and be that spark of energy, that experience that you need to get over those humps in the really big matches. But I think you need someone like Broya to carry the torch as much as he can, and he's already kind of proven it. He almost had, I think, double-digit goals last season, so in the Prem. So I think, with better quality around him, he should continue to perform. We'll see. But look, moving on to in terms of next on the pod script, we have quick hits and jumping right into them, guys. Again, guys, bear with us. No Prem this weekend. I know we're all suffering. It's fine. Plenty of other matches to kind of cover, and there's a ton to go through. I think let's start, in my opinion, I already kind of alluded to it before. Let's start with the Bundesliga. We talked about Leipzig firing their manager. Talked about honeymoon phases and how important that is for players, especially when you have guys like Timo Werner. Talking about Chelsea, Timo Werner, who's moved over from the Prem back into his comfort zone at Leipzig. Marco Rosa makes his way back in, and in his first match against his old team, both teams have fired him. Actually, it's kind of crazy. Leipzig absolutely thrashed Dortmund. As someone who cheers on Dortmund in the Bundesliga, it was so fucking tough to watch, man, because there was zero energy from the team. They didn't like they even wanted to be there. Leipzig were just firing on all cylinders, and it felt like they had something to prove, especially considering how they've started the season, which hasn't been great, and their first Champions League match, which wasn't great. So 3-0. I don't know if there's any kind of reaction that we could take from this from Leipzig's side. I think it's a really good result for them under a new manager. But from Dortmund's perspective, guys, they came into this. They're still first place, but they came into this almost solely at the top. Now they're tied with like three other teams, Bayern being one of those. I mean, let's start with Christian here. Like what does Dortmund have to do to like stay consistent? Because like 1 week, and maybe this is just what we have to expect in the post Erling Haaland era. Because maybe they're trying to figure out who's going to be that goal scorer, who's going to be that guy for them. They have options. Not that they lack options.
Yeah.
What is going on, bro? Like, what do they have to do? Jude Bellingham, when he did the conference afterward, like he didn't even care that much, to be honest. Like, is it just like a motivation thing, or are we just going to see this up and down Dortmund all season the way we have over the last couple seasons?
Man, they just got Sebastian Haller, right? And then he just got, he got cancer and stuff. Maybe that's throwing him off. Like,
yeah,
testicular cancer is, it's crazy. Like he's chemo, and then he's not playing. They don't have a striker. Like, who do they have attack? Like they have like Royce. They have Malin. Malin has kind of been a flop. Like,
dude,
I don't know.
He's just crazy fast. I mean, Malin, he kind of makes like bad decisions every now and then with some of the attacking third passes and touches that he takes. But like Marco Royce is still there. Gio Reyno's working his way back in. He's been injured on and off. I get that piece. Julian Brandt. I mean, they have attacking options. I don't get it. I don't know what has to happen. Even defensively, they don't look that good. Like I don't know.
Nah, they picked up Sule. I don't think they should have picked him up. Like, he's older. You know what I mean? They should have picked up a younger. Like, Zagadou is a good player. You keep him, but like Sule is like, he was okay at Bayern. So Bayern getting rid of him is good, but for De Ligt, which was an insane pickup for sure, he's good for the Juve. So I mean, Dortmund getting Sule is not. I mean, he plays in the Bundesliga. He knows the game, obviously. But maybe they shouldn't have picked him up. They should have gotten someone else, I think. But I don't know.
I don't know.
It's maybe like even like Guerrero, he's pretty good. Like, he's good with the Portuguese national team. He's good at attacking too.
He just scored too. So this past week in the Champions League, I mean, granted, guys, it was Copenhagen, right? Like you take that with a grain of salt, but nonetheless, they were they got a clean sheet. They pumped in 3 goals. They seem to be on a high, Alina, and then out of nowhere, get the fucking hammer dropped on them by Leipzig, who's also been struggling. You actually figured this was going to be a closer game than it was, Alina. I mean, I don't know. Do you think it's just that honeymoon phase that we talked about earlier with Leipzig now, or are we just like, again, I'm going to ask the question, can we expect this from Dortmund on a weekly basis?
No, I think Leipzig definitely like the fact that they got a new coach and the players are still, in that phase. They want to prove themselves, and it's just a whole new project. But with Dortmund, I feel like you're seeing like what happens to a team, more like a B team, right? Because like in the Bundesliga, you have Bayern that have incredible depth, and then you have a team like Dortmund who have they have a decent first lineup, like their A lineup. And then once you get those times where there is Champions League games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you see those teams struggle. They're not going to be able to keep up. And I think that's like one of the major reasons why, as you said, Dortmund looked like they didn't have any energy there. It's because they just, played one game in the Champions League 3 days ago, and they have one, I think. I don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday.
It's a giant one on Wednesday against Man City.
Yeah.
That's what's even more concerning.
That's what they were thinking of. That's what they were probably thinking of.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, it's so frustrating, man. It's like I'm watching Bundesliga, soccer for 10 years, and it's like I don't want to cheer for Bayern because it's what the whole country cheers for, and and Dortmund also just continues to sell players to Bayern. So it was always easy to grow up cheering for Dortmund, and it's shitty as hell watching this team now. They can't figure it out. They have good talent that other clubs continuously want to come to them and farm talent from, right? But they can never find a way to cohesively make it work for an entire season so they actually challenge Bayern for the Bundesliga at the end of the year. We haven't seen it since, the Klopp and Tuchel eras, right? It hasn't really been there. So I don't know. I don't know where they go. Hopefully they don't shit the bed against City this week, but I guess we'll find out.
I think they will.
Yeah, they probably will. But staying with the Bundesliga, Bayern, they dropped points for the Not the first, not the second, but the third time in a row as they draw again, 2-2 to Stuttgart. This has to be so fucking frustrating. I'm laughing because I think it's great. This has to be so frustrating for Bayern fans because look, back-to-back draws, and then they come in against Inter, which everyone was expecting for Inter to give them a game, right? The champions, and they did. I mean, it was a 2-0 win.
Nah, I
What
don't
was
know about that.
it? Kind of gave them a game. I mean, like, I'm trying to, I'm trying to give them credit where credit's due, right? I still think Bayern is a world-class team. I think very few teams globally should be able to keep up with them. However, everyone thought they were back on track. It was a very convincing win, and they come back to the Bundesliga and shit the bed again and drop points. And I think that what stood out most against Stuttgart wasn't that they couldn't score. They could score, right? And 2 goals doesn't make it a lot by Bayern standards, but they could score. It's how they were really unable to retain the lead, to close games out, to just do what Bayern has always been able to do, and just take it from even a 1-0, take a 1-0 from the 60th minute to the 90th minute. No concerns, right? You close the game out. They don't. Stuttgart gets a late goal, and again, they draw. Alina, with this one, we talk about this all the time because we always say Bundesliga just in the last couple seasons hasn't had that much to talk about with how rampant Bayern are. But 3 draws, I think they're now, again, tied with 3 other teams at 12 points for first place in the Bundesliga. Can we get excited again? Is Bundesliga going to be close? Can fans outside of Germany should we all start tuning in? I mean, I know I am, but I know a lot of us aren't. We kind of just, stick around for the Prem or some of the biggest, leagues and clubs out there. What do you think? I mean, is this just going to be a race now from September through, let's say, the World Cup?
I think if any teams want to keep up with Bayern, this is the time to pick up the points. So the fact that Bayern are actually dropping points when, I mean, we talk about depth and how hard it is to play two or three competitions. If you look at the lineup for Bayern, they had like Kimmich and Goretzka and Musala and Nabry. Okay, maybe like their front line wasn't like as good, but I mean they subbed in Mane, they subbed in Sane, they subbed in Gravenberg, so it's not like they didn't have the options, not like they didn't try. So I feel like that's what sucks even more because I feel like this month is the most important for teams to keep up with Bayern, and the fact that Dortmund didn't, or at least didn't do for the last game, I think is just it's hard because it's going to be a lot more difficult to keep up, I think, after the World Cup.
That's a great point. I like what you just said there too, right? Teams are already rotating, and it wasn't just Bayern,
Yeah.
right? We saw it with Real Madrid, we saw it with Barcelona. I think we're in September, and teams are already rotating a fair amount of their lineups. I think Barcelona, we'll talk about it later, but they even had like 9 rotations in a
Yeah.
lineup, which is fucking insane. Christian, do you think that, like, are we rotating too early? I mean, have we gotten to a point now where coaches are just overthinking the season like this early? I mean, we're a month in, bro.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I get it. Managers want to sort of feel out like which players get the best chemistry, maybe like who's good with passing to who can get the goals. But I mean, you can't be having Mane on the bench. Like this guy is a Ballon d'Or nominee, and you're putting him on the bench. Like that's crazy. He has to be starting, I think, in my opinion. Like you gotta have like Sane, Mane, and then like either like Kingsley Coleman up there. Like he's good. He's played at Juve. He was good there. You know what I mean?
What if they? Okay, so I agree with you, but what if the devil's advocate here is like, okay, I agree with you, but we have Barcelona on Wednesday or
Yeah,
Tuesday. Sorry, is that what they were thinking? Maybe they were like, okay, Stuttgart, we should be okay without some of those guys up front, and I want to save them for when Barcelona come to town on Tuesday. Is that it, or even with that, is it still too early? These guys still have legs under them.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably just like we should rest, the bigger players, who are goal scorers, are better defenders. Just rest them. We're playing maybe a lower Bundesliga side. Maybe we can just scrape a
Yeah.
win, and maybe this, got ahead of themselves. Maybe Stuttgart even knew that. Like, you know what? They're probably gonna bench this guy, this guy, this guy. We can just probably, get out, scrape something from there, and they did. So, like, it's crazy. I don't know. I feel like Bayern should be dominating with the team that they have. Like,
Especially in the Bundesliga, bro. Like
yeah, exactly.
if there is one, it's like it's almost like talking about PSG. If there's one area where you want them to just absolutely cruise, it's their domestic league. They
Yeah.
Exactly.
especially with Bayern's strategy, bro. Bayern's strategy is not like PSG's, where it's like, hey, let's just go out and grab world class talent. They do get that, but they do it by poaching the talent that's in their league. So they're not
Yeah.
just getting better; they're legitimately making other teams worse, and that's even more reason as to why they need to be dominating these games week in and week out. 3 straight draws, not a great look for them. Now, moving over to La Liga, we started yesterday with Barcelona rolling past Cadiz 4-0. It definitely wasn't. I think if you didn't watch the game, it looks very straightforward. It looks like, okay, shit, they just completely came in, do what they do. This is Barcelona. I mentioned before, 9+ rotations in the starting lineup to get ready for this game where they travel to Bayern in the Champions League. I don't think Xavi overthought it. I think that it was more of a scenario where Cadiz is very much kind of bottom of the table, and we have enough talent on this team, regardless of who's playing, to go out there and be competitive. However, it took them until the second half to get rolling and to find that goal before the floodgates kind of opened, especially when Lewandowski got subbed in. So keep in mind, right, they benched a lot of the talent. Leva didn't come in until the final 30 minutes. Pedri, Dembele, a bunch of these guys didn't come into the last 30, and that's when the floodgates kind of opened up. I think the feel-good moment, the heartwarming moment of the day, though, I don't know if anybody saw, there was a fan that had a heart attack at the stadium, and the game just kind of stopped. I think we saw Ledesma, the keeper from Cadiz, run a defibrillator over to the stadium, over to the part of the stadium where they were, handed over to the crowd. A real feel good moment, man. Football's awesome. We all love it, but I think at the end of the day, it's great to see that life, takes precedent over whatever the result may have been on the field. So, all in all, great result. But Christian, let's start with you, man. We're talking about rotation, talking about how important that is, but Barcelona almost stumbled yesterday. It wasn't until their stars came in. I think De Jong got the goal right before all those substitutions started coming in. But Barcelona looked very predictable, very pragmatic with guys like Memphis Depay, which, dude, we'll talk about that. I can't even watch this fucking guy anymore. Like it's gotten to this point. But anyway, should Barcelona fans be nervous when guys like Lewandowski, Pedri, Dembele are not in the game? Does Barcelona look like they're just either too boring or too predictable?
No, you guys have a good B team. If you guys on the bench are better than some team starters. You guys have Gavi. You guys have that new was it a winger or something that Xavi loves right now? That Spanish. I don't know. He's a academy player. He's really good.
Well, yeah. So in terms of Ferran, of course, up there, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Dembele. I mean, there's Ansu Fati. There's just so many options, right?
Yeah.
It becomes crazy to name them all. But it's kind of worrying, right? Like you saw the first 60 minutes, and it's just I couldn't even find where the chances were going to come from.
Yeah,
possession was there, but
Yeah, you want these youngsters, to come in, try to make something going, get a goal, you know what I mean? Don't try not to concede, which they didn't, but just go, just try to score. You can hold the ball for so long, but if you're not scoring, what's the point of holding the ball? You gotta score. So I mean,
chances.
you have Lewandowski coming in to save, you know what I mean, De Jong. Yeah. But yeah, Lewa's crazy right now. I don't know who said. I've heard people say he's gonna flop, which pissed me off. That guy's insane.
We actually had a little bit of a debate here on the show when we first started, and I think I asked the question back in the day, right? Who was going to walk with Pachichi in La Liga, whether it was going to be Lewandowski or Benzema? And I think Benzema's injury now, changes that question a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think nobody thought he was going to hit the ground running as fast as he did. It almost looks like he came up in La Masia. It almost looks like Lewandowski is just born to play at Barcelona. The way he moves, the way he finds space, the way he leads the team. It's like, dude, there's so many holy shit moments throughout games that I'm just like, this guy looks like he was just meant to play here. It's crazy. But with that said, either way, fantastic moment to see fans get prioritized. Fantastic game for Barcelona, of course, but we can't understate the fact that this is very much a game they should have won. And now they transition over into a very big matchup with Bayern Munich in the middle of the week. Moving on to the other side of La Liga, the other side of the fan base. This morning, Real Madrid came from behind. The Brazilian boys at Real Madrid got them their W 4-1. Guys like Vini, Rodrigo were on full display. Guys that were not were guys like Eden Hazard. I feel like without Benzema in play, Alina, I think this is Hazard's moment to prove that he still has something in the tank, something somewhere. But still, it's not there. The guy was literally non-existent. I can't think of any kind of real impact he had, whether it was through hold-up play or combinations. Is he done? Is Eden Hazard? Should we just remember him for his Chelsea days? Is he gone?
I think so, definitely. I feel like one of the worst like transfers of the last decade. That's how bad it is. Not even the last 5 years. The
Yeah.
last decade was Hazard to Madrid.
Who's a worse? Who's a worse
Sure.
signing? Who's a worse signing? Hazard to Madrid or Coutinho to Barcelona?
Oh, I'm gonna say Hazard, man. This guy did McDonald ads. Like that's crazy. He did
Yeah,
crazy.
I agree with that.
That's insane. Nah. Coutinho was still a baller, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
I
nah, Hazard just it pisses me off
I
because he
think
was so good at Chelsea. Oh my
He
he
should
god.
have
was,
stayed
bro.
there.
He should have.
Exactly.
I think everybody was expecting that lightning at Chelsea to make its way over to Real Madrid. But the thing is, like, Madrid never used him that. I mean, I guess they kind of did in the first couple seasons, where on a wing, isolating defenders
Yeah.
1-on-1, and then him getting injured all the time sucked too. But it's like, I think on some level, it's kind of like Ousmane Dembele. I think you get injured because you're not doing the right things off the pitch.
Hmm.
And you hear Usman talk about that now, the Xavi impact, right? Like what he does off the pitch now allows him to stay healthy and can do the things that he does. I think Hazard, he's just kind of a meme, bro. I don't know. He's just become like that guy. Like I don't know that guy on Madrid. He's the new Gareth Bale, right? If they lose
Yes.
due to lack of goals, he's going to be the reason why. If Benzema wasn't there, I don't know. I think Vinny and Rodrigo do enough for that team without Benzema. They don't have to worry about him too much. But man, what a waste in terms of talent and potential with Hazard. I think he could have been a real, I don't know, showstopper at Madrid.
Real star, man. Yeah.
We'll never know now. We'll never know. I don't know. I think he might be
Yeah.
done. But we'll see. Either way, Madrid walk away as the only team that remains perfect in Europe's top 5 league. So they keep it rolling. Moving on to Serie A, I think before we move over into Champions League predictions, we have Juve's game later today. Super pumped about that. That's going to be a good one. But it's even more important because even with the disadvantage, getting the red card in the middle of the game, Milan still found a way to do it. AC Milan walking away 2-1 from that game with Sampdoria. They looked very, in my opinion anyway, very much the better side even after Leao got his red card. But Alina, was that red card harsh? I mean, like he's 2 yellows. The second one seems a little bit harsh considering what he was going after, but nonetheless, I don't know. Did he deserve that red card with the 2 different challenges the way he came in? The first one was kind of tough for me.
I mean, I don't know. I watched that game and he like straight up kicked the crap out of that guy's face. So is it a yellow? Yes. I feel like the first one was less of a yellow than the second one.
That's what I'm saying.
And
The
at
first
that
one was
point
tough.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point too, like I feel like he knows that he has a yellow. Why is he attempting to freaking bicycle kick the ball?
Young talent.
I think that ball actually went inside of the net, if I'm not mistaken.
Did it?
Like when he did the foul, didn't he like the ball
I
somehow
think
went
it
in? Like
did. Yeah. I think it
yeah.
did.
I don't remember
Okay.
if it was off the actual bicycle or if just somehow it went in. But I don't know. I think it's terrible from him, especially considering what they have next week with Napoli.
Yeah.
That's like and I love the way Napoli play, but if I'm like trying to pick like who is the lesser evil, I'd go with Milan because I also hate Inter. So it's as long as
Same.
As long as Napoli and Inter do terribly, I'm fine. So no, I think he's gonna be tremendously missed, but he's gonna be there for the Champions League, which is very important because of the shit show that they did in the first game. Also, big ups to Giroud, who people were very harsh on him for that Champions League game. They were saying he was like probably the worst player on the pitch from both teams.
He's always gotten that rap though. Always. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
I
club he's
know,
with.
I know,
It's so
but that
shitty.
that goal that he got was important, especially for like the situation that they were in with the red card and
Yeah.
all that. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, the penalty,
Yeah.
it got him the converting piece, and
Yeah.
look, even before that, Milan looked like the better team. De Ketelaere had a goal that was waved off due to VAR, and I know we talked about VAR last week. I think he was off by like maybe
Oh
that,
yeah.
maybe that, maybe that.
It's so annoying.
I just
Oh my
can't.
god.
I can't stand VAR anymore. I'm so fucking over it. I'm so over it.
Yeah.
It's just
Same.
it doesn't do anything for the game anymore. It's taking more away than it's giving back, and it's I don't know. Let's move on. I don't want to go down that rant that we had last week on on the show. Look, Champions League's coming, guys. Champions League coming this week. massive matchups. I think we have more headliners this week than we had last week for a lot of good reasons. But let's jump in. Predictions. We're going to hold everybody fucking accountable. Christian, that means you too.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We got 3 big on Tuesday and 3 big on Wednesday. I think I had a pretty good week last week. I mean, I was shocked. Don't get me wrong, but I think the bold predictions were pretty spot on. So let's keep it rolling, guys. Keep it rolling. Let's go first with Tuesday. Bayern Munich hosts Barcelona. The return of the golden child, Lewandowski, coming in and getting a chance to face his former club. That's one story. But two, the manner in which he left Bayern, the interview that he did with Barcelona after the fact. I think all of it creates this perfect media storm heading into that match this week. And of course, Bayern dropping points again for the 3rd time in a row in the Bundesliga. Predictions. Let's go all the way around here. Ladies first. Alina, what do you got?
I'm gonna say 2-1 Barcelona with a brace of Lewandowski. Not just because I don't want you to get mad at me, Jose, but still, I feel like they'll. I think they'll get it. I think they'll get it.
All right.
I am hoping that it's going to be a terrible game from Delict. I'd love to see that.
Man, hoping for the old youngster to not do it. Okay, well, a 2-1. I actually think that's pretty fair. Christian, what do you think, bro? Anything off the wall?
Oh, I'm gonna say, if Bayern losing Barca is like, I mean Lewandowski like leaving Bayern. I'm gonna say, oh my God, there's so much talent on this team, man. I'm gonna say Barca are gonna win like 4-1. That's like crazy to say.
Let's go, baby.
I'm saying 4, man. Like Bayern are coming off like, what is this like these ties? Like this is a bad drought, man. Like you're going to the Champions League. Like Barca coming off a win. Like when you're coming off a loss, like the morale is so low. Like no, we have to win. You're playing against Lewa too. Like, oh man, like I feel like Lewa's gonna turn up. Yeah, Lewa's gonna turn up. He's gonna score like a brace.
I think both sides turn up.
I like this.
Yeah, I think Dembele's gonna score. He's crazy right now. Like people were wanting this guy out of the club like immediately and memeing him for like ambulances and stuff, always being injured. But no, Dembele, this guy's a freak in nature, man. When he wants to, like he's really good. So I think he's gonna score. The defense for Barca is good as well. So I mean, like I like Rojo.
They haven't been tested yet. That's the only thing. They're keeping clean sheets this season, way more so, way easier than they were able to last season. And granted, they have guys like Koundé, Christian now. I mean, they have pieces. They didn't have last season. But this is their first big test. So I'm going to try and be as fair as I can because I'm a Barca fan. I actually think it's going to be a crazy game in terms of goals. A lot, hopefully. I think it's going to be 4-2. Barca.
I'm going to change my prediction too, actually. I'm going to do 3-1. 3-1 to Barcelona. Still 2 goals from Lewandowski and an own goal from Delict because he's the king of own goals. He's already scored an own goal for Bayern.
Handball merchant that guy is, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Went from 2-1 to shitting on Delict even more to saying he's going to be the reason that they lose 3-1. Okay.
I was too nice. When I said he's going to have a bad game. No, the guy is going to probably hopefully either give away a penalty.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen.
Because he always gives away penalties like left and right.
Even with the national team, right? Like it's somehow gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that was it in the Euros?
No, it was in the Euros. I thought it was Nations League.
Oh yeah, it might have been Nations. Yeah, I don't remember.
But either way, like just somehow slid, but his hand was just like way out here. Just like bounced the ball.
He tie his hands behind his back, man. His hands are always out. Like did it so much with Juventus. Like he pissed me off so much. I was like, man, like please keep your hands like in the middle, man. Like don't keep them out. Like
the old school golden rule that they give you whenever you're a kid. Just keep your hands to yourself, bro. All right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Exactly.
Okay, well, look, I think we all convinced Barca's going to win. I do think Levi turns up, but we'll see. Moving on, and this was really tricky. This was really tricky because results from last week will have you believe that it might be straightforward. Liverpool hosts Ajax. And keep in mind, Liverpool's the host, right? So Ajax has to travel to England. In my opinion, Ajax doesn't care where they go. Champions League is just their fucking playground, at least over the last few seasons since like 2018. This one's really, really tough. We'll start with me because I don't want people to say like, oh, he just piggybacks off of others. We'll start with me. We'll go over to Christian and to Alina. Kind of go backwards here. I'm gonna go with 2-1 Ajax. I don't think I don't think that Liverpool have any solution at all for the hole that they're in. I don't think that. I don't think the Napoli game was a fluke. I think that it's not just offensively they can't find goals. Defensively, they're getting. It's like Swiss cheese, bro. Like there's just holes everywhere. Like I don't
Yeah,
even know. I don't even know.
Trent
Like Trent
Trent.
is
Oh,
but Trent's being
Trent.
even more Trent
walks
than
backwards,
normal. Like
Yeah,
more
gets
Trent. Like
nutmegged, and then walks backward as if he didn't do anything.
yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. I think Ajax is a team that even if they can't match up with talent, they're going to bring an engine that Liverpool just won't be able to keep up with. So, in my opinion, even in an away leg for them, 2-1 Ajax. That's just my opinion. Christian, let's start with you. What do you got?
Nah, that the Ajax win. Okay, I would say Ajax are always like Champions League is their bread and butter, bro. Like they're so good. They always turn up with a crazy team, even though they sell all their players. But this transfer window, like they just lost
Hey, but
Martinez.
remember,
Like,
Liverpool has your boy Arthur. So, you know.
oh my god, yeah, they're probably gonna lose, man. Oh my god.
Look at
Artur.
Alina.
Oh,
Oh
Arthur,
my
man.
god, he
Come
Come
got
on.
subbed
on.
in, and I was having like the time because we did a watch along on my Discord server for that.
Yeah.
And oh my god, every time he had the ball, I was like just like bursting out laughing because he's trying to take a fucking shot, and I was like,
He's so
this
No,
bad.
guy
man.
doesn't. He cannot pass like longer than 10 meters. You expect him to score a goal? Like, yeah, what is he?
Oh
He's the
man.
I
new
don't know.
savior at Liverpool, though, the new midfield. All right. So,
Yeah, I don't know
Oh.
about that.
so anyway, prediction. What do you got? Give me
I'm
something.
saying Liverpool, man. They're gonna win. Like, okay, they're gonna win. I'm gonna say like they had a bad game against Napoli. I'm gonna say they're gonna win like 3. I'm gonna say 3-1 or 3
Three.
nothing.
They're gonna score
Yeah.
3 goals. I haven't seen them score
Okay,
3 goals
trust me.
since Bournemouth. Okay,
No,
so okay.
trust me. I'm gonna say they lost
Who scores? Who scores those goals?
those goals. Salah's gonna turn up. Darwin's. I think Salah's gonna
Oh
score
yeah,
2, and then maybe Darwin scores.
maybe Darwin. Okay.
Yeah, like he's good. He's good with Benfica
It's
and
also
stuff. So when they
Ajax.
came
I
in,
also think Ajax's
yeah,
defense will let Darwin score. So that makes sense.
exactly. Like they lost Anthony. I mean, he's a skill merchant. This guy just spam skills and then just. I mean, he doesn't really do that much, but
He's
he's
the
doing a big part.
kid in FIFA who does all of the
He
right stick
spams right
spam
stick.
and right stick
He,
when nobody's yeah,
From
Anthony's
his
that
that's
own
it.
half.
Yeah, he just is. And he lost Martinez, a good defensive player, center back, midfield. He
Yeah.
can play. They got Ocampos. I
But
mean,
didn't they just shit on who was it? Rangers? Well, who did Ajax
yeah,
just beat in the Champions League?
Did
Was it
they win
Rangers?
their last game in the
I think
Champions
Yeah.
so.
League?
Oh my
Ajax?
god. They were
They
up like
did?
4-0 at half.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
won
they
4-0 against
Something
Rangers.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or 3-0 at half. They
and
won 4-0.
and then they also won 5-0 yesterday in their
yeah,
league.
All
yeah,
they know how
yeah.
to do is score right now. So okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're saying 3. What was it? What was the Ajax's
I
side?
said 3-1. I'm gonna say 3-1. I think they'll score a goal.
Okay,
But I
okay.
mean, like Van Dyke is not. I don't know. He's good. I think he had a bad game against Napoli, but there's no way. I see no one getting past Van Dyke, man. Maybe Joe Gomez. He's pretty bad. I don't like
Van
him.
Dijk he looks like a shell of his former self at the moment, though. But I agree, it's
Yeah.
Ajax. So like we can't put too much stock into that. All right, so Alina, we have 2-1 Ajax, 3-1 Liverpool. What's yours?
Man, it's tough for me because I think it'd be hilarious if they get a negative result again and lose, and then Klopp gets sacked because I want to
Oh,
see that. Like I want to
I'll
see the
laugh.
drama.
I'll laugh.
I do think
Oh.
that if they lose, if they draw, he won't get sacked. But if they lose 2 games in a row
The
in
first two
Champions
group
That would
League,
stage games. Yeah.
he will get sacked. But here's the thing: I think they will win 2-1. It's going to be a very hard game. And I'm only saying that because they're at Anfield and they're usually really good at Anfield.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. And it's at home, so that's why I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think mine was the hot take because it's like it's still Anfield. Anfield is Anfield, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens. That one, I think it's so hard to call. It's so hard to call with how Liverpool are playing right now. And then finally on Tuesday, I think I'm considering it a dark horse matchup, like I did last week. I swear, I think Tottenham's group is like it looks like it's somewhat easy on the surface, and then you start looking through the game, through the actual teams, and like they're better than you actually think. But also, Spurs are more bang average than most people think. I think most people think they're going to be finishing top 2, top 3 in the Prem. I just think that we're going to continue to see Spursy things out of Tottenham, and that's probably my Arsenal bias talking, but we'll see.
6, 7.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But Sporting gets to host Tottenham. We'll start. I have my own take for this, but let's start with Alina and we'll kind of work our way back. Alina, Sporting hosts Tottenham in Portugal. We all saw how Tottenham played against Marseille prior to the red card coming in. and they ultimately found the goals they needed to win 2-0. Give me something here. Sporting against Tottenham. What do you got?
Here's what I'm gonna say is I feel like not we, mostly Jose and Andre were kind of like shitting on Spurs last week, and they were like, "Oh my God, Marseille, Sanchez, let's go! They're gonna win. They're gonna be the dark
They
horse," and then
looked
they get
good
wrecked
though.
2-0.
Yeah,
No, it's
Sanchez
not
looks
wrecked.
good.
That's not wrecked. It was 0-0 with very minimal Spurs chances, and then the red card happened.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but the result is all that matters at the end.
I
But
mean, that's fair, but I'm just saying, if that red card didn't come through, I don't know. It could have been 1-0 Marseille. We don't really
yeah,
know it, and I just think that Spurs with you don't spend 60 million on Richarlison for him to play like that. I'm sorry, he scores when there's 10 men. That's cool. I need you to score when there's 11 men on the field. You know what I mean? I don't know.
yeah,
That's just kind of my
yeah.
take. But I'm also an Arsenal fan, so fuck what I say.
Well, my prediction is 2-0 for Spurs.
2-0. That's probably fair.
Yeah,
Christian.
I want Conte to do well. So.
For me, no man. Like Sporting have a good team, man. Like they have a good
They have
team.
like a low key decent team. They always
They have
find
ballers on that team.
they have a
Like,
way to they always find a way to make it into the knockout rounds, but after that it's
yeah,
always kind of like a coin flip. So I mean,
yeah. Like they're coming off a 3-0 win off of Frankfurt. Like I think Edwards is a really good player. Nuno Santos, he also scored. Like he's good. Pedro Gonçalves, he's insane as well. Like they have a good team.
yeah,
Inacio, good
Koshov.
defender.
Pedro
Yeah, yeah,
Porro is still there, right?
yeah. They bought him, which is a really good buy. I think.
Yeah, dude, great buy. He's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fantastic outside back. So they have a lot of young, hungry, very skillful talent.
yeah.
So
But I'm still.
you think they win?
I'm gonna say it's a close game though. They're coming off 3-0, but I'm gonna say Spurs are gonna win like 2-1. I think it's gonna be a hard game. Like they're coming off 3-0, but Sporting's coming off 3-0, but I think Spurs do have that team like Kulusevski, Kane, Son. They have Longley now. They have Romero. They have all these good players, man. Like it's gonna be hard.
Bentancur.
Lloris, yeah,
Bentancur.
Bentancur, useless,
Not that
but
he's that
yeah,
good, but
he's not
He's
good.
good. He's
They
good
just
at what
have
he
him.
does. He's good at what he does. I mean, at the end of the day, he's meant to break up play, and that's what he does.
Yeah,
Now, passing it out of the back and shit's not really his thing, but that's not
no,
what he
he's
signed up
so
for.
bad, man. Don't I get PTSD when I watch him, man. Oh my god.
Um, sorry, you said 2-1. Okay,
Yeah, I would
I'm
say
gonna
2-1.
go. I'm gonna go 2-2, 2-2, and
Respectable, yeah.
I think it's because I think it's gonna be 2-1 until like stoppage time. I think Sporting at home on a set piece finds a way to get that
Oh,
oh
dagger. Just
God.
be like, I think
90-minute cheese.
playing in Portugal, whether it's like at Porto, at Benfica, at Sporting, their home crowds are built different, man. Their ultras are built different, and I think
I
that
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
if there
I didn't. Yeah,
if there, you know what?
I didn't know they were playing in Portugal. I might change my prediction to a draw because
Oh
I
yeah.
don't want to look like an idiot.
No, no.
1-1.
I still think. I still think Tottenham should win. Should come in and try to get this game, take it by the scruff of the neck, and it's a great match to test how far they can actually go in Champions League because Sporting doesn't play. But it's so hard to win some of those games with those crowds in Portugal. And I think if any
Yeah.
Portuguese team is like in it in the last minute, like the crowd can make a difference, set piece can make a difference. I don't know. I think 2-2 is what I say, but I think a draw is fair. But if Spurs win, it won't surprise me. They're a good team and they should win. Now, moving into Wednesday, this is where the hot takes need to come in. All right,
Yup.
I want the home take bias to shine through. All right, Juve hosting Benfica.
I'm not here anymore. Nice podcast, guys. I'm going.
Juve hosting Benfica. Benfica's got a good team this season. I
Yep.
actually like Benfica a lot. I want to come back to Alina, and we'll start with me. We'll kind of wrap it back around. I'm not the home fan here, so I could be very neutral and unbiased in this. Juve started the game like shit against PSG. They found a way to come back to exploit PSG's mental gaps and made it a game till the very end. With that said, guys like Rabiot do not inspire me at all. Like at all.
Nope.
I feel like United dodged a fucking train when it came to not signing him. But nonetheless, like you guys still find a way to create opportunities. It's just sometimes super pragmatic. It's so tough, man. I actually think Juve wins 1-0. But I think it's very scrappy, not a great to watch match. I think Benfica gets really unlucky. They maybe get a post shot here and there. Maybe we saw Grimaldo's crazy fucking goal, and they probably need something like that to again to happen.
Disgusting goal. Oh my god.
Dude, probably goal
Crazy.
of the group stage already, and we haven't even gotten to the second match yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1-0 Juve, because I like to pretend that, Juve is still like a crazy big club, and they are, right, in their own right. It's just you guys, like, you're missing players right now. The signings that you made haven't done a crazy amount yet, but who knows? Maybe Milik goes off. Maybe hat trick. I don't fucking know.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah, okay. We're
I
talking
said,
about Allegri hat trick. None of our players are gonna get a hat trick all year.
no way. I
I'm
just heard
telling you that
this.
right now.
I mean,
There's no
who
way I heard
knows,
this.
right?
Hat
Okay,
trick.
look, I'll be realistic, right? I'm trying to give you guys some faith here, some positivity. I'm going to say 1-0 Juve. All right, Christian, before we move
Oh,
on to to Alina.
yeah, I'm gonna say okay. I don't think there's gonna be a Milik hat trick. That's like psychotic to say. There's no way that's happening. But I'm gonna say I think 2-0 Juve is definitely possible. I think
Okay.
them resting Vlahovic was good. Just so you know, we should get that. We should get the win. They lost Darwin. Benfica don't have a good goal scorer right now. But they do have like Gilberto, who's good. They have a lot of good players. João Mario. Man, they have a lot of good players. Man, even their defense is not too bad either. But Juve just don't. I don't know what Allegri's plan is, to be honest. Like, this guy switches everything, formations, players. No one plays the same position every day. I see McKennie at left mid. I see him at CDM. I don't know where he's playing, but I don't know. We don't have Di Maria, who's insane for us. I think he's our best player, actually, our best attacker besides Vlahovic. Pogba, he's not there. He's a very key player, but he's injured. Um,
Could we
we
see
lost.
Di Maria soon? Could we see him for this game or
Uh,
no?
I don't think he's. I don't know if
Yeah,
he's playing.
possibly.
Okay.
Possible, but not. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna play. Yeah. I think he's gonna play today though. He might play Champions League though. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2-0. I think Vlahovic's gonna score a goal. He's doing pretty good with the free kicks. He's 2 for 2 right now. So if we get a free kick for Juve and he bangs it, I won't be surprised. Cuadrado, I think, is very underrated. I don't think people like rate him as much, but I think he's like one of our best assister. Like, he's crazy, good with the ball, up and down the field. I think we should get the win, but if we don't, I don't know, man. I'm gonna cry. I think this is so bad. Like, we cannot lose, man.
But you can't, and this is because you guys have to get this W. You
Yeah.
guys know how difficult it will be to visit Benfica and try to get a win there.
Oh my
So
god,
to
man.
do it now, and I think even Allegri said in an interview, right? Alina, we talked about it. Don't even
Oh
think about
god.
PSG. They're mentally moving past that game and onto Benfica because it is so important. So,
Yep.
Alina, as realistically and hopefully positively as you can, what's your prediction?
Man, I'm just like right now I'm just getting like PTSD from Porto like last
Oh
season,
my.
right? Like
Oh
I cannot deal with another Portuguese team and like Allegri's words is why he was like, "Oh, PSG, let's be realistic. Benfica is the only game that matters, blah blah blah." Okay, well, I hope you show us next week that Benfica
yes.
is actually the only game that matters because if I see points dropped, it's goodbye to second place. Period.
Yep. That's gonna be
Benfica are
tough.
going to pick up points against no, did they? I think they. Yeah,
They already played
they
that
picked
team.
up
Yeah.
points. Yeah, so I think they're gonna pick up points against them again, and it's gonna be really hard to play Benfica at Benfica. So this is your chance to pick up points here, and then maybe draw at Benfica if it's a hard game.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
if if we don't pick up points against like if we don't win, let me reiterate, we need to win against Benfica for second place. Otherwise, we will likely either go out or go to Europa League. My
Yeah.
prediction, because you said let's stay a little more positive, I'm gonna do 2-1 Juve.
Okay. 2-1 Juve. All right, so we got 2-1, 2-0, and 1-0. I like I think in Turin, there really shouldn't be an excuse. This is
Yeah.
Champions League. If you're gearing up for it, you're play, and you don't even need manager motivation at this point. Even if Allegri changes everything, the players need to have enough pride in themselves to go out there and do what needs to get done to win the match. Period. It's Champions League.
Yeah.
Now moving on to another banger: City versus Dortmund. Erling Haaland gets to not go back to Signal Iduna Park. That will come in the return leg, but gets to play host to his former club, Borussia Dortmund, after, and we talked about it earlier, a shambles game against Leipzig. They're down mentally, probably physically a little bit now as well. Going into this game against arguably the best team on the planet. I say arguably only because there's some people who are still throwing shit out there like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Let's be real. In my opinion, City is the number one team on the planet. I think Erling Haaland on that team just reinforces that. The guy scores for fun. So if we're talking about like predictions, I think we all can probably very confidently say fucking City's going to win. It's just by how much. That's you really took Dortmund's
Yeah.
best player, you put it on the best team in the world. What's the prediction going to be? Alina, let's start with you.
Oof, I think it's gonna be. Where are they playing? At Dortmund or
They're
City?
playing City.
Yeah,
In
playing in
City?
cities.
Oh
Yeah, at
yeah,
City.
4-0.
The empty head.
4-0.
Oh man.
Another hat trick. What is it? The third hat trick in a row for.
Something
Yeah,
stupid.
But did
he's
he did
Holland's
he get
just
a hat trick
Holland's
last
just
week or just 2 goals?
yeah, he did. He got a hat trick
He
last week.
did. Okay, so it's gonna be the third hat trick. 3 out of 3 for him.
the guy's just
Um,
pumping in goals for fun, man. It's just crazy
yeah,
stupid.
It's insane.
4-0.
Christian, what do you
Now,
think?
I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna say 5-1 City.
I'm gonna be
It's
generous.
very generous.
Man, like they're gonna see
Yeah.
Haaland and get scared, man. That was their savior last season. Haaland going to City. They have Cancelo. Like their entire team is just like insane. Like there's no way. Like Ederson's crazy. Ruben Diaz. Like, oh man, like come on. Like
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it. You can't be Leipzig. Like, come on. Like
Here's what I think.
I think it's over.
I think it's going to be 3-0 City. I don't think Holland gets a hat trick. I think it's going to be Holland gets a goal. I think, in all honesty, the midfield is going to completely destroy Dortmund. I think it's De Bruyne, Silva, Foden makes an appearance. I think you're going to see so much ball movement around that midfield. They're not going to know what to do with themselves. And I think Holland's goal is going to be one of the easiest happens because they didn't even
Yup.
know he was sitting behind them. Like, it was going to be one of those where the midfield just mesmerizes everybody, and they find Holland standing right next to the goal, just open for a tap in. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's going to be a very kind of, I think, walk in the park. Very much a walk in the park for
And they
City.
picked up Declan. Not Declan Rice. I'll say Calvin Phillips. I forgot he even plays for that team now.
I
But
know, we
Yeah,
forgot, right?
yeah.
Because
he doesn't play.
as good as he is surplus on that crazy fucking good team. Like I don't know. If
Exactly.
he doesn't win the Champions League this year, then
Pep has to go. He has to
move
go,
on,
man.
bro.
Oh
Move
my
on.
god.
Move on. Like, has to be something else.
The
Yeah.
money this man spends, if he cannot win, even with like Haaland and all this, but Alvarez, I forgot about Alvarez,
Yeah,
man. This
Julian.
guy's scoring 40 plus goals in Argentina.
Yeah.
He's just scored at least like I'm
You
gonna say
know-
like 15 in the Prem.
I would say if City goes up big in the first half, we actually might see guys like Julian and Calvin.
Oh, he's gonna come on. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
and have
3-0.
have a big, yeah. I think that's what
Yeah.
it could be. It could be less.
They're gonna bring
Haaland,
on
more
like
Haaland,
some
like that.
18-year-old kid. They don't care. They're gonna bring on whoever, give him some play time.
I mean, it's City, bro.
Like-
So, I mean, I think no matter what,
Yeah.
they're probably going to dominate. And then finally, the last big banger of Wednesday. And I think it's interesting just because they hit a bounce back game this weekend. But Real Madrid plays host to Leipzig. I think prior to Marco Rosa being hired, Leipzig probably would have been like, we kind of cast them aside, and the champions, do what they do and they walk away with the W. Real Madrid probably still wins this game. But I think the interesting fact, Leipzig coming back on a bounce back weekend, Benzema being out for the next few weeks.
Is it just
don't
a
know.
few weeks?
I think so. I think they said it was a double muscular injury around his knee.
Oh.
So it's not a ligament, which is great, but nonetheless, I think if you're a Real Madrid fan, 2 different muscles being injured around your knee doesn't sound great. They said about 3 weeks to a month. But who knows? He's also preparing for the World Cup. I think if I'm him,
Yeah.
do you take more time off just to prepare and make sure that you're ready to lead France and what's probably going to be your last World Cup ever? So that's a question mark that I think he's asking himself. I would love to hear from some of the folks watching the show. Let us know in the comments if you think Benzema needs to be rested longer than a month. I think Real Madrid showed this past weekend that they're more than capable without him. But maybe some fans are still, having PTSD from last season when Barcelona completely destroyed them 4-0 without Benzema. The one high-profile match they didn't have with him, they just look like they were in shambles. So we'll see. The first game without him, though, they look fine. But anyway, back to predictions. Ladies first, let's start with Alina. Madrid, Leipzig in Madrid. What's your prediction?
I think it's going to be a very close game, honestly, because I do expect Leipzig to come in and actually attack and push, especially with that, like, the new coach and
Timo Werner and guys like that.
Yeah, and the amazing results they got from Dortmund. So I do expect them to fight, but I do think Madrid are going to find a way to win. And I think it's going to be 1-0.
1-0. Love it.
1-0
Okay,
for
Christian?
Madrid.
For me, I gotta say, I think Real Madrid still got it in the bag, man. Like I know Leipzig have a good team. We got Nkunku. You have Timo, who's playing really well, but Vini's like insane right now, man. Like he's finally finding form. like this past season. This season, he's going off. They came off a 3-0 win. Modric scoring, Hazard. I don't think Hazard's gonna score. He's probably gonna be on the bench again, but like Vinny's Vinny's might get like a brace. Rodrigo might score. Modric, I don't know. I think they're still gonna win. Like probably gonna be like I'm gonna say like maybe like 3 or 2-1. I think I'm gonna say 3-1 actually. 3-1
3-1.
to Real Madrid. Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
think they got in the bag for sure.
Yeah, they're still the champions. You can't discount them. They're
Yeah,
still the
yeah.
champions. I actually think it's going to be kind of like Alina, a little bit close. 2-1's my prediction. I think it's going to be guys like Vinny, maybe a crazy goal from, I don't know, Alaba or Modric or Cruz, someone who hits a banger from distance maybe. But either way, I do think Nkunku, Werner, and some of those guys on Leipzig have a strong opportunity to get one goal maybe, right? Because they're so good. But I think Madrid's going to be too much, especially at the Bernabeu. So 2-1, I think we're all pretty in contention there with the champions doing what they do. So now, bro, the bulk of the show, I want to make sure that we give more than enough time dedicated to you specifically, Christian. So let's talk about you, man. We've gone through all the topics for today. Great show on that front, and I want to pivot over to what I'm hoping this show is going to become over time. Right, a strong way for other folks out there, other footy fans, especially stateside, because there's so many casual fans on this side of the planet, to embrace everything that football culture really means. And that includes things like FIFA, gaming content. Twitch is a big platform, and FIFA is becoming a bigger part of that platform every single day, man. And that's where I happen to discover channels like yours, channels like Alina's, ggSK for those who aren't aware, right? So Christian, with your channel, Christian XC7, look, man, I know you've been doing this for all the time in the world, but you're a Twitch streamer. You're a big Juve fan. I think we've discovered that through the lens of this episode. But look, man, there's a lot of things people don't know about you. So the way that I like to kick off any content that I do with a guest on the show, I think the first thing I want to ask outright, and there's no right answer to this, you take as much time as you need, but Christian XC7, who are you today?
I would say, for me, I'm just someone who's always learning, man. Always learning. I think there's not something that you just don't know, man. Like I'm always trying to learn new things. I'm always picking up. Like I'm trying to pick it up more with like graphic design stuff too, man. But I'm doing a lot of like FIFA content as well. But I do a lot of my own graphics and stuff like that. Went to school for animation. Fell more in love with like graphic design. I think taught myself. Still learning. Still wanting to learn. I do love just streaming and just like creating content for people, making people laugh. I like having a lot of people in my stream. I know Alina could agree and probably talk about it as well. Like people coming in like, oh, I'm from this country. Like, oh wow, I didn't know you were from. People say like all over the world, like Australia or like somewhere crazy, and I'm like, it makes you want to keep going, and you know what I mean, like keep talking, grow a community. You do get the trolls, the toxic here and there, but ban button real quick, they're out of here. But I know the mods like to ban people. They like to throw the ban hammer around, but yeah, man, I don't like to keep it toxic, bro. Like how I am off stream, I am on stream. Like it's just how it is. But yeah,
Love it,
man. Like, yeah. I just like to keep it positive, man. If I see like disrespect, I don't really like mess with it as much, man. It's try to keep it positive. Everyone has their own place, in the world, man. So I feel like there's no one better or less than anyone else. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like my community, bro. That's how we try to keep it as much as I can. But yeah,
love it, man. Absolutely. So I think for those who don't know, let's really quickly just talk about kind of you specifically, right?
Sure.
You're a Juve fan, Twitch streamer, and you're based in. We want to get the city if you don't want, but I think it's Canada.
Yeah, I'm just a little outside of Toronto. Like I'll say the city. I don't really care. I'm from Mississauga, but like a lot of people are like, what? Like no one really knows the cities. But yeah, I'll just say I'm from the GTA, Greater Toronto area. I'm just outside Toronto. But yeah, so people like Chew Boy's here. You know what I mean? So he's probably a bigger name as well. That's from Toronto.
Sure. I think most FIFA players probably know who Chew Boy is.
Yeah,
great FIFA content creator, knows a ton, right? Because he's so heavily involved in the business side of FIFA and content as well. But yeah, man, look, I think for those who are not, and Alina, if you have any questions too, please feel free to chime in. For those who are not familiar, because still in 2022, bro, I remember when I discovered Twitch. I mean, way back in the day, I've been using Twitch since the Justin TV days, right? So prior to the Amazon acquisition. But I'm also, a really big fucking nerd at heart. Not everybody's like that. I remember when I started watching, people were like, "Why are you watching other people play video games? It doesn't make sense to me. Why not just play it?" I mean, my biggest retort to that always is like, well, why do you watch Barcelona play? Why do you watch Messi play with Barcelona? Why do you watch Cristiano Ronaldo play with back then like Manchester United or Real Madrid or whoever? And it's always the same reason, right? It's like because you want to watch the greats do what they do. They do things that you can't do. Same concept, same logic, right? But I want to ask you that though. I think for anybody who might be watching, maybe wanting to be an aspiring content creator, why did you pick it up? When did you start streaming? What was the motivation for it? And maybe what are you hoping to achieve long term with this?
So for me, I started about I'm gonna say like I think it was like last year in like June I started. I was just out of school. I was looking for work. I was playing video games already, but I'm going into animation, right? So there's a lot of video games in there, lots of graphics, lots of art, which I'm already really into. So, me going into Twitch, I was just like, you know what, I might as well have fun with it, whatever.
Yeah,
People who are just starting off, don't expect like crazy like Castro 1021 chats like going nuts. Like you're streaming to zero people for a couple days, few days, weeks. It happens, but
months even.
I would
It just kind of depends.
months. Yeah, it just depends if people mess with you or if like they like your vibe. They like for me, some people are like, oh, I can't talk. I don't know how to talk by myself. I like man, you guys just comment with nobody. If you're talking to yourself, that's what I did, and people stay because if you're someone joins this chat and it's just completely dead silent, people are gonna leave after like 25 seconds. Like no one's gonna stay. Keep the conversation going. That's what I did, man. So that's how I grew my community. Just find someone. Hey, how are you? You just comment back. Hey, how are you? How was your day? Keep it going. Get the ball rolling. Because then that person will stay. They come back. Now you got a viewer. That's one person. And then someone else comes, and then it just goes on and on and on. Like for me, I didn't think I would have like this amount of people or following I have like on like all platforms. Like uh by this time, like last year, I did not think of it at all. I just kind of just grew and um watching other streamers or like content creators and just trying to pick it up, not copy, but just trying to get like a brief like, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that with my content, whatever. But yeah, that's what I did, and then this is where I'm at right now. um even like having connections with like EA and stuff, like a game changer and stuff like that. Like I never thought that would happen in my life, and then talking to Zaro, he's not with EA anymore, but like yeah, hitting up like Zaro and stuff like that. Like there's all this stuff happening. I was like, man, is it crazy? I never thought about it, but if it can happen to me, I'm gonna say it can happen to anyone else because I'm
Yeah.
the last person I would think it would happen to. So yeah, so if you're out there, you're thinking of wanting to do it, create a community, even get your friends, man. Like get your friends, like, hey, watch my stream, give yourself a bump with viewership because it is hard to find viewers or have like a high view count on Twitch. There's a lot of like saturated like content, not even just FIFA, but like if you're doing COD or like
Any
Fortnite or
game.
something. Yeah, yeah, Fall
Yeah.
Guys too. Right now it's pretty big, but yeah, man, it's trying to get your friends or family. Um, I would say like maybe if you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of embarrassed to my friends or family. Like maybe if you're like that, maybe it's not for you because I mean that's like just being real. Like if you're like embarrassed to show your friends or your family, like, oh, this is what I do, then maybe it's not for you. But hey, if you think you have it, you have that personality, you know what I mean. Hey, you can go ahead. No one's gonna stop you. Don't let anyone talk you down. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't let
Elena,
anyone
how, how,
tell you no.
how much of that is true? How much do you feel like the growing pains of being a streamer are very real? Elena.
Oh, man, I think for me, a lot of people go into it thinking that they're gonna grow very fast, as Christian mentioned, and for me, like, um, I think I thought initially, like a year and a half ago, that I was gonna grow faster. But now it's like I'm still grateful for like the 6K or whatever that I have on Twitch, and it's just people have to go into it expecting with realistic expectations and maybe perhaps like smaller goals, and once you hit that goal then you can go to the next goal. So like if someone's going into it and they're like worried about growth, maybe the first goal would be like 50 followers, and then the next goal would be 200, and then like 500, and so on. And I think like setting smaller goals and smaller boundaries like that is very much healthy, much more healthier than expecting to have like 1,000 viewers in your first year or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you know, even through the lens of, you know, my full time role, right? When I get to work with content creators, it's something that's hard to coach on. It's hard to, I think, set those expectations with people that are new to streaming. That like, hey, you know, Castro has thousands and thousands of viewers, but he didn't get that overnight. You know,
Yeah,
he's
Yeah.
been
yeah,
doing this for a decade. You know, and even guys bigger than him, right? The Nick Mercs, the Tim Tatmans of the world. You know, Tim the Tatman always talks about a story when he was younger, back in like the, you know, the Black Ops 2 days, when games would just come out and he debated quitting because he would have like 1,000+ viewers in his normal streams. And when the next Call of Duty dropped, you know, he had 15, 30 people in there. And because everybody's watching the actual pros play, right? They're not watching content creators, they're watching pros because they want to, you know, get into the game metas as fast as they possibly can. Uh, you know, it always depends. It's hard to predict a lot of times, but I think, you know, FIFA is one of those titles here on this side of the world in the States where it's not quite as prominent as like Call of Duty or some of the other FPS titles out there. Even talk about things like Fortnite, or you mentioned Fall Guys, Christian. Those titles are pretty
yeah,
big,
yeah.
and FIFA sometimes becomes an afterthought because it's, you know, not as big of a game here as it is in the UK. And so, you know, I think, you know, asking, you know, streamers based on this side of the world, you know, what it means to kind of create content around that title, it's always really interesting to me. I think it's interesting to a lot of viewers as well, or it definitely could be. But I'm really curious, Christian, why FIFA? And so this one, I ask people
Mhm.
that game all the time, because back in the day, you did have your choice. You had FIFA, which was the biggest, but you still had things like PES, right? Player Evolution
Yeah,
Soccer,
yeah,
and now you have things like Football Manager, eFootball's a thing. So why FIFA, especially how considering how much of the community bitches about this game, right? It's like, dude, EA doesn't give a shit. They're just out there for the money. They don't, you know, they don't fix anything season or year over
yeah,
year. Same broken ass title. So like, you know, as someone who deals with it day in and day
yeah.
out, why FIFA?
For me, no, like don't get me wrong. I played a lot of PES, and I'm gonna lie. I've Pro Evolution Soccer six. I have six, seven. I had a lot of them, and then I bought them off the PlayStation store. I don't have the physical copies, but yeah, I had a lot of FIFA. PES I did play. eFootball just came out because he just switched the name, but I haven't even tried Football Manager. I want to try it. I might do it on stream maybe, but FIFA I just had my cousin actually got me into it because he used to play a lot of FIFA when I was younger. I used to play like all the older FIFA games, like PS2. I used to play on some of those. Um, but yeah, this is a game that stuck with me. Like with me going to school and stuff, like when I was in elementary school, all my friends like NHL. It was NHL or COD or like that was it. None of my friends really played FIFA. It was just like me by myself. I'm surprised I even stuck with it, but it's just a game I liked so much. I just like playing with like a team and like finding like a crazy player and then like playing with them, scoring a goal with them, and like because I would pretend it's like me or something. I guess it's stuck. I guess, and then over time you just like get good with the game. So it is like kind of like your niche. Like it's something you know. You just play it. Like I used to play GTA. I played GTA still sometimes. I used to play Rainbow Six a lot. I got really into that game.
Dude, Rainbow
COD I
Six is
played a lot.
awesome. I
Oh, Rainbow
fucking love
Six
R6.
so good. Oh my god,
I
that game
love
is
that
like
game, bro.
they haven't really changed too much. It's like they're different operators, but
Nah,
like it's just
it's
so
still the same. It's a little bit broken
yeah,
now, but
yeah,
like I don't play it as much. But yeah, it's a fantastic game, bro. But
yeah.
that led me to my next question, though. Actually, what titles are you playing outside of FIFA? You mentioned R6, COD. Do you play any of these on stream?
I try to play. I feel I've tried it, but like I feel like my community is really just FIFA based. Um, So I mean, I try to keep it like more like footy content. Try to keep it in there. So I do play FIFA a lot. I'm not gonna lie. We do watch a lot of videos online. I do IRL football too. Like because I play sometimes like every week. So I try to bring like my football like film. My dad comes. I gotta get him to record. If he's not recording, I have no content. So I need him fully charged phone. Send me the videos. We're gonna watch it on stream. People call me Wash, whatever. NA. They don't rate us, man. They don't rate the NA ball.
NA.
They don't rate the NA ball. They say that we're
Bro, that's
ass.
crazy.
But it's yeah, yeah. It's so funny though. But yeah, they like it. They laugh. Like, I don't care. Like people laugh at me. I mean, that's what I'm here for. People, as long as I get someone to laugh, I don't care. But yeah, I've tried.
Bro,
I even
Twitch
put
trolls
like,
are great.
oh, it's so funny. Like people get like so mad, but I just find it hilarious. Like, oh, you're playing FIFA in September. I'm like, yeah, you're watching me play FIFA in September. So I don't know what to tell you. So, so yeah, that Assassin's Creed I played a couple times. That game's actually really fun. But yeah, other than that, those are kind of the games I kind of play with. Games that people do like as well. Like I do play Fall Guys here and there, Fortnite as well. But yeah, it is mostly FIFA. I would say like 90%.
Awesome. Love that, bro. Love that. And I think you're like every other gamer, right? Like,
Yeah,
even I'm sure Alina can agree with this being a streamer. I'm sure there are games you guys like to play off stream, things that you like to do out off stream that aren't
For
always
sure.
representative of
yeah,
what you
yeah.
do on stream. And it's difficult, right? To like try and introduce something new to your community, try and do it in a way that continues to make sure that you're growing as a creator the way you want to grow, hit the stats that you want to hit. It's tough. I think doing what you guys do, being so oriented towards positive metrics that shows that you're growing as a creator while still doing what you love and not getting tired of it. I think that's really, really tough. Alina, I don't know if there's anything that you play. Do you play any of those titles too, or are you just really a FIFA person?
For streaming, I've pretty much mostly like did FIFA, but I
Yeah.
think maybe like a month ago or a month and a half ago, we did some Fall Guys when it was like really like
When it
for
was
some. I
meta?
think
It was popping.
yeah, yeah, it was like so many people. It was
Yeah,
insane. Like
yeah,
I would get like 100 average views, like 200 followers per stream, and then it just kind of like went down as people got bored of Fall Guys and I switched back to FIFA.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah, Fall Guys was fun. I've streamed that before. I've tried to stream Fortnite as well, but I don't think the people liked it. I feel
no,
like every time I stream something else, and maybe Christian can relate to that, but everyone's like, "Oh my god, when are you gonna do FIFA? When are you gonna do
yeah. People
Ultimate
always
Team?
ask.
When are we gonna play clubs or something?" So
Yeah,
it's just kind of like I feel like I'm not making people happy when I try something different, even though I would like to try something different.
hmm,
But other than that, I play on my own time off stream. I play a lot of Overwatch.
Oh,
That's another game I
nice.
oh, I
play.
used to play
Yeah,
that a
Man.
lot too. I got into Val too.
yeah,
Valorant's pretty fun, but
yeah,
it's so sweaty. Oh my god, I can't.
Yeah,
That game is
Overwatch is like a
so. Oh,
different beast just because
yeah,
it's there's all so much moving on the screen at once. Like there's so much
yeah.
going on when the battles hit that I'm just like, bro, I can't. My brother used to play and it's insane. But yeah, the point that I'm making, I think, is that as gamers, I think personally, creators like yourselves, both Alina and Christian, I think you guys are the start of this giant wave, in my opinion. I think independent media is doing things for the game, and we'll talk solely about FIFA here. Is doing things for the game, football, that legacy media can never do and probably won't ever do. And I think that this next wave of fans needs creators like yourselves to entertain them when the matches aren't on, to do things and interact with them, offer a layer of entertainment and connectivity that the players on their screen during the matches will never be able to do. In fact, you can argue in a lot of ways the professional game is becoming less human. People are treating them as
Mm,
if they're not human beings, like they're just the
yeah,
athletes that are out there for their entertainment. And I think we need more of this bridge that streaming creates between an audience and a creator. And so I'm a big believer that FIFA, whether it's FIFA or some other weird football title that comes down the road because EA lost that license,
yeah.
whatever it may be, I think independent media and content creators are going to be the future of this sport and probably any fucking sport. In all honesty, I think you guys have that kind of on your shoulders, and I think I'm personally really impressed with how you guys do it. So keep doing it. I think from a gaming perspective, the audiences will only continue to get bigger and bigger, and if anybody out there is contemplating it, the only way to really know if it's for you is just to fucking go live, to do it,
mm.
and try it and see what it's about. But I've been really impressed with these two as they continue to grow. Now, moving away from the streaming part of it all, I want to dive into your football fandom a little bit. I could probably guess how you became a Juve fan. Juve had, this just illustrious history, and I think whether it's Juve, Inter, Milan, AC Milan, whoever it may be, they have these. The Serie A has this very storied past, and the clubs that sit at the top of that past are still to this day thought of as the biggest clubs in the world. But let's talk about it, right? I mean, you're from right outside Toronto, you're in the Greater Toronto area. Is there a? I imagine there probably is a decent Italian fan base there.
Yeah,
Are they
it's huge, huge.
primarily Juve fans, or are they like walk me through it, bro? Why Juve?
No, for me, okay, like for Toronto, I would say like my area, there's a lot of Italians here, a lot of Italian immigrants that come here, so for me, like even like my grandfather, like he played the game, so he knows. He's a Juve fan. My dad, Juve fan. Me, Juve fan. But we do have family members who are AC Milan fan, Inter fans, and I don't like them, but I mean, I'm joking. It's fine. It's
I was
fine.
like, damn, bro. Okay.
No. But we do get, there's banter and stuff. But yeah, like for me, like my dad always tells me, like, yeah, we should be like Roma or Lazio fans or Frosinone fans. That's where like we're from. But my grandfather only likes Juventus because the national team, the goalie was always playing for Juventus. So and he played in net. My dad played in net. So like, yeah, I might as well, like Juventus, and then that's how it started for me. My brother's the only outcast. He likes Real Madrid. Why? I don't know where that came from. Like no, not Spanish. Like I'm half Italian, half Portuguese, so I'm surprised he likes Real Madrid just out of nowhere. I think because of like Ronaldo, I guess, but he won't admit it. But
Probably.
he
Most Real
won't
Madrid
admit it.
fans do it because of the W's. I mean, like
Yeah,
like like anything, right? Bandwagon
yeah, he
fans.
just won't. He won't say it, man. He won't admit it. That's why. But
When did he become a Real Madrid fan? Do you remember?
oh, he was like 6, running around the house saying Ronaldo. So yeah. It's a
That's probably
jersey.
what it
Yeah,
was, bro. He was probably
yeah.
conveniently a Man U fan before that too.
Facts. Yeah.
Love it, love it. So Juve fan comes through family. So how has it been transitioning? And maybe this is a question for both you and Alina, because I'm really curious. How has it been
Yeah.
transitioning from glory days
Oh,
to through? Well, maybe you guys don't remember this, maybe you do, but through the turmoil, right? Which was um, the scandal, right? The match fixing scandal. That it
yeah.
was more than just Juve, right? It was Milan, Juve. I want to say there's another team involved too. There was three, right?
Yeah, I can't remember
Um,
Yeah, there was 3, I believe, but I can't remember.
um,
I can't see the other team. Yeah, I don't
yeah, but I
remember.
think Juve was one of the only teams that was legitimately relegated.
Yeah, they got
And,
relegated. Yeah.
and reducted points versus like Milan just starting the season with like a 15-point reduction or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, going through all of that, right? The glory days from the early 2000s through that turmoil into present day Juve. What's it like being
Oh,
that kind of fan? Um, I don't know. Is it how difficult has it been, and when do you think you guys will be back on top of Europe again?
it's depressing. It's depressing to see, man. Oh my god, we haven't had a good midfield since Pirlo, Vidal, and first version of Pogba. That's like our best midfield I've ever seen. Now we have Arthur and not Arthur now, but we have Rabiot and McKennie. No more Zachariah. Like I feel like they don't know what they're doing, man. I don't know. It's just pissing me off with our team just going down, down, down. I don't see an up. I don't know, but I think it should come. We can't be going down forever. I hope, but I don't know. With Vlahovic, it looks like that like light at the end of the tunnel. Chiesa coming back. We have a lot of good.
That should have been the
Yeah,
whole like the coming of the next generation of success, right? The
yeah,
Vlahovic could have gone anywhere and he went to Juve.
yeah. He didn't want any other team, which I found surprising. He got offers from it was like Liverpool and Spurs and Man United. Arsenal. He
Arsenal
said
had
no
a
to every
big
single
one.
one. He's like, I
Yeah,
want Juve. I don't know why his teams want Juventus. To be honest, my dad says it all the time. Like he's like, why do they want to come here? Because he knows the team sucks.
it's the
I can tell
badge,
people.
bro. It's the
It's the
badge.
badge. Yeah, if you have the passion for the badge, okay, yeah. But like Locatelli too, like he's a Juve fan too. Who else? Zachariah said, "Oh, my dad was a Juve fan." Like, so okay, you have passion, it's fine, so you can play. But like, other than that, like, there's no way like people are gonna come here like on a money move. I don't even see it. Um, I think it'll come though. I think our and we lost like that 9 year like run, winning. That's it. But it ended. We got Ronaldo. Ended. But even with like the Ronaldo, I immediately being Portuguese, in and being Italian with like my team, like best player for me, and then like my favorite team, like that's amazing. But I mean, the way I like we did it, and just having like focus on Ronaldo, pass the ball to Ronaldo. That was our game plan. Pass Ronaldo, he'll do everything. Didn't focus around anything else, and then we just didn't do anything. We didn't play well. Um, but yeah, man, I think with Vlahovic there, it's not too much focus on just the striker. We have Chiesa coming back soon. Di Maria's going to be there. Pogba. We have a lot more not star players, but like just a more well known, more like influence on the game who can actually do more than just what Ronaldo was. Just give it to him, he'll figure it out. Which is how I think we were playing for like 3 years that he was there.
Yeah, man, it's really tough. I mean, I'm sure Alina agrees. In fact, she had a question here as well. Go ahead and ask it, Alina. I have another one after that.
Oh yeah, I was wondering, like, out of the last 3 or 4 coaches, Juve
Mhm.
coaches, which one has been your favorite? I know you mentioned a little bit earlier about how pissed off you were with Sarri being sacked and Pirlo getting
Yeah,
in, but Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, are you like an Allegri fan, Sarri fan, Pirlo fan? How do you feel about our situation right now?
Like Allegri, like no, we should not have brought back Allegri. In my opinion, he did what he could with the team. He brought us to finals, didn't win nothing, didn't win nothing. He did what he could, and he left. I think after that, when he left, shouldn't have came back. When we brought Sarri in, like I was like, okay, yeah, he's fine. Like he's a good coach. And then after only giving him like one season, like I don't like the one season and then dump the manager. Like I think that's so stupid. Like what United do. They had four managers in a season. Like I think it might have been more. I don't even know. I was insane. I don't even know what I'm seeing. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
you have to stick. Like players can't like work with the manager if they're switching out every like 3 months. Like that's stupid. So I can see why that team was playing bad. If we just had the same coach, we just had Sorry instead of Allegri right now. Like I don't think it would have been bad like these past couple of years. Pirlo, I mean him too. Like there was no way they brought this man in thinking we were gonna win all these. Like no, it was not gonna happen, man. Like he's coming in as like a project, a starter. Like us getting fourth was I was actually surprised. Like, but I think it's also because we had Ronaldo. Because I saw like some stats. Like if we didn't have Ronaldo,
It came
that
down to
last
decision day that season. I
yeah,
remember.
oh my god,
Like
I was like
literally the
Who was
final
it?
match day.
Verona. Someone with
yeah,
Kiev scoring a goal, holding Napoli to a 1-1. That's
Yeah.
why
that
we got top
yeah,
4.
yeah. That's how we got. And then
Yeah.
Ronaldo scoring that crazy header too, like one of his last games. That was insane. Like and then running to Pirlo hugging him. I was like, what am I seeing, man? This is for fourth. Like this is so sad. It's not even to like win. It's not even to win the league. It's to get fourth. Like I was like, man, this club is such in shambles, man. But I think we're gonna pick up. But yeah, I'm gonna say like I like Sorry, but since he left and Pirlo, I wish we just kind of just kept Pirlo, man. Like just keep him. Like we knew that when he's coming in, like he wasn't gonna win all these trophies and stuff. We won one trophy. What was it, like a Super Copa, I think, or something like that? We won like a little
Yeah.
trophy. It's fine, yeah. So I mean that's
Yeah.
fine. But like yeah, for them to sack him right after, do him dirty like that, or not sack him, it was to resign. But we all know it was to sack him. Like yeah, just go to Turkey or something, coach.
I think you're doomed also whenever you're a brand new coach and you have to adhere to like Ronaldo. Like you have to like find a
Yeah,
way to make it work, and the only way to make it work with that guy is to build a system around him. Like that's not a way for a coach to be successful. So
no, yeah,
That's why
yeah,
Sorry was sacked because number 1, I think it was like mostly an issue with the management, but like the
yeah.
guy would like smoke in the locker room. He would wear like
Oh
tracksuits
yeah, yeah,
to sit on the bench like in games. And when you're a not Juve fan, when you work at Juve, especially as a manager, that's not the image that you want to put forth. It's a very
yeah,
professional club, very like tight knit, like things like that cannot like you can't have a manager that does that. And also, I feel like the 3 coaches that we've been through, or the 2 I should say, because Allegri is still there. It's all because of Ronaldo, because the management knew that Ronaldo doesn't have that many years left. So you got to figure out one manager that's going to work best for him. And I feel like
yeah.
now that Ronaldo's gone, that's like one of the sole reasons we've kept Allegri this season is because, well, Ronaldo's not there anymore, so we have a lot more time. Let's stick with Allegri and kind of like build up the project.
Mm.
Whereas I feel like if Ronaldo stayed, which Ronaldo and Allegri, I don't think they're on good terms.
No, no, they didn't. He didn't like. Yeah, Ronaldo didn't like Allegri. I
Yeah,
don't think.
I feel like Ronaldo doesn't like anyone though, because I
that's
also
fair.
heard that he didn't like
Yeah,
Pirlo, he didn't like Sarri. So I mean,
yeah. I don't
it is
know.
what it is.
All right. So look, I think we got a few more questions left. And we'll wrap this episode up. So sticking on Juve. So bulk really quick. I mean, this will be 2 seconds. Where
Sure.
does Juve finish in the table? Give me an exact spot. No, like Champions League spot or like Europa
Third.
League spot or whatever.
Third.
Third. Okay.
I think they might scrape third.
I think the
Fourth.
Lena's take two.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like third. I'm gonna say is like the highest. We won't get first. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We won't get first. We're tying with stupid teams. I don't think we should be tying with. We should be winning these games. We should be we tie against the like bad teams, mid table or bottom of the table teams, and then we have to play against like Inter, AC Milan, Napoli, and then we lose to them. Like it should be like we win against the small teams, and then when we play the big teams, if we lose or tie, it's fine because we still have like up top 4, top 3, whatever. But the way that they're playing, I'm gonna say third we can get it, but like even like Atalanta are playing pretty well and stuff like that. Like and who else? I think it was Udinese. I think they're like 4-0 right now. Like they're crazy right now. They haven't lost a game, beating Fiorentina and Roma. Like pretty good
So
team.
you still think third, probably because players are coming back, right?
Yeah. Like once we have like he has a big part of our club, man. I think him like missing out so much is definitely ruining like our like no Champions League, getting past round of 16. Like if we just had him, I think we probably would have gone further. But or having him to like score like a clutch goal like he did before, in like a game where we're tied with or losing, like one goal down or something like that. Like he could have came in or started and had a goal or something. But I think once all these players are coming back, Pogba, Di Maria, Szczesny, won't concede as much when he comes back, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna say third. Third is
Okay.
my final place. I think they'll be at.
Elena, you think third is realistic or no?
I don't know. I think it depends because here's the thing with Juve. I feel like we do better after the winter break. And
Agree.
honestly, I don't think we've been doing that. Like we've dropped points like terribly, but it's not as bad
I
considering
don't think
the
so either. Yeah.
players we have out. Like we have Pogba out, we have Chiesa out, we have Szczesny out, Di Maria out. And that's like literally 4 starters. So it's like almost 50% of the team that's supposed to be there, the best team, is not there. And I was listening to another podcast about that, and one of the people on the podcast was like, "Well, if we had our A team like PSG had their A team, it would
Yeah,
have been a much closer game." Like, and
agree.
I think
And
it's
it was still
interesting.
it
It's
was still pretty
interesting to see.
close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It
I'm
was close.
surprised. Yeah,
Well, we
yeah,
had like our B plus team
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. I agree
without
100%.
Pogba, Di Maria,
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Chiesa.
I think Juve. It looks sometimes like you guys are in shambles, but it looks more like you're trying to figure out how to make the best of your situation. That's what it looks like. Like
Mm.
you're trying to figure Allegri included. Even though I think the guy plays way more direct than he needs to. Like way more direct.
Yeah.
There's no point having those pieces you have in the midfield if you're not going to use them. Like actually use them. But either way, I still think top four is very much a viability. We'll see. And then in terms of World Cup coming at the end of the season, again, love takes from both of you guys here. Italy's out, so bold prediction.
Oh,
What's the
Eesh.
bold prediction here? Is there somebody you got your eye on, Christian? Somebody that you think will turn some heads? I know Americans here think that the U.S. for whatever reason is not going to do what we always do and disappoint the fuck out of
Yeah.
everybody. But I don't know. Like, and Mexican fans, same way. I'm Mexican American, and those are the two sides of the coin that I lean on. And
Mhm.
I think both fan bases are always diluted. But either way, do you see someone, maybe Portugal, the other side of your family, maybe somebody else? Do you see like a team that maybe people aren't necessarily counting on that you think can make some waves?
I'm gonna say it's a hot take, but I think Canada could actually get past their group. I'm not gonna lie. I think they get second. It's
Damn.
possible for them to get second. People say, "No, they're gonna get third." I'm like, "Nah, man, they're getting second." I feel it, man. Like Davies, Jonathan David. We have Buchanan. Like they're going off. These players are going crazy. Like Laren.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of good players right now. Especially with TFC and stuff. We have some
Either
good Canadian
it's always
talent.
it's been the best team that Canada I think ever probably had. Now I will
Yeah,
say that with
the
that
talent
said, like
wise.
yeah, talent wise, but still, I will equally say a World Cup is a very different thing than qualifying. Right, qualifying is
Yeah,
like especially in Concacaf. Qualifying is qualifying,
yeah.
but I think showing up to that stage and then going toe to toe with the big boys is completely different. So we'll see which
Mhm.
version of Canada shows up. But I like either talent a lot. I so wanted Alfonso Davies for Barcelona. I so
Oh
wanted him, bro.
man, yeah.
Before he went to
He's someone
Bayern.
that
Oh
Juve
my
I would
god.
take, bro. Instead of
Yeah.
Sandro, so
I
garbage
love.
that guy.
and
Oh god,
I love it.
so
All right,
bad.
Alina, is there a dark horse for you in the World Cup?
I think well obviously I'm going to be rooting for USA cuz that's where I live. And my American friends are going to kill me if I don't root for the USA, but I
As
think in
as they
terms
do.
of who's yeah, I think in terms of who's going to win, I have my money on Spain. I think they're going to
Yeah,
win the World Cup.
Whoa, whoa. They have no striker.
I know.
They have no
I'll
Oh,
take
you
striker.
that
had
L
on my
because
boy Murata.
Oh no,
Come on
offside
now.
merchant. That man. No, this says always offside.
you
He
know what?
comes
No,
up
man.
clutch though.
If
He
they
does.
were, I think Ferran will actually score more than Morata. Probably some bias from Barcelona,
Oh
but
Yeah,
man.
I think I don't know. In the national team, he finds a way. It's probably because he's playing for his father-in-law. He finds a way to just like get it done, man. I don't know what it
yeah,
is. Barcelona, the mental switch just turns off, and I don't know what the fuck he's doing
yeah.
half the time. But yeah, it'll be really interesting. And then finally, Christian, before I give you a chance to get some words out there, in terms of like what you're working on, what
Mhm.
excites you most? We're right around the corner, guys. End of the month, FIFA 23 drops. I'm sure both of you guys are
Yep.
pumped for new content, new title, the
Yes,
last of an
please.
era, right? The EA era.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what excites you most about FIFA 23 that's coming? Or are you looking forward to maybe playing something else? I don't know. Like, what excites you most about that title?
Oh, Juventus coming back in FIFA. I can't be playing with Piemonte
Hell
Yeah.
yeah!
Calcio no more, man. This career mode is so dead with this team, man. I can't Piemonte Calcio dead
The
kits. I gotta
super
see my
generic
badge, man.
unis and like they're like
Oh,
weird like colors and designs and shit.
yeah,
Like
I hate it, man. It was
it's
just
tough, bro.
even if you're a Roma fan too, like seeing that like Roma FC, like oh, I'd be
To be
so
fair,
it's
to
just
be
At
fair,
least they have
Roma's
a
yeah,
good kit though,
yeah. Their kit's nicer than
unlike
the
us.
Juve kit's so
Yeah.
ugly. I hate it. No
the Roma.
offense, CA, but I don't like it.
Well, it's interesting because in real life, Roma's kit is trash. I can't stand Roma's kit. It's just so basic. I'm like, New Balance could have done anything else with this.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you're looking forward to playing, looking forward to having Juve back in the game. That'll be
Yep.
great. Is there anything specifically about maybe the gameplay either one of you are looking forward to?
Gameplay, like I don't know, man. I
Anything?
haven't like
Like, did anybody play the beta?
no, I didn't get the beta, but I know they're the new Hypermotion 2.0, so hopefully that's good.
Hopefully, it means
Uh,
something. Like they,
what
they
I'm
release shit
yeah,
like this every season. It's like,
what I'm hearing is
okay,
it's very slow, which I hate. I hate hearing it slow.
Oh, I'm
I
the
hate.
opposite.
You like
you like,
slow?
I do, and I think like because I play a lot of tournaments and stuff, and I'm gonna
Okay.
be like focused a lot on like the pro scene this next
Oh,
FIFA,
okay, okay.
and I think this year worked really well for me because I did like relatively well, at least like in the last tournament that I played in.
Hmm.
Um, and I was playing like the PS5 version of the game, and it was honestly it was decent because like the PS5 version of the game is different. It was different from the PS4 version in
Yeah.
terms of like you always had to find that extra pass. Is like and like literally every pro was playing the extra pass, like
Yeah,
from
you
the
gotta
wing.
sweat it.
Yeah,
You have to sweat it.
and on PS4 it was a little different. So I feel like a possession styled game on
Yeah.
paper would kind of like fits my style better. So I
Yeah.
hope it'll be a good year.
love it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I know. I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, I like to hear both sides of like. I know a lot of people like for me, I play very fast pace. Like I don't. I run the pro scene, but I do. I do get like my 18 or no, my 18 and 2 sometimes. So I
Hell
do
Yeah.
get a
yeah.
good win in the weekend league. So but yeah, like, I just like to play fast pace. I'm very like skillful on the ball. I can score like crazy goals, but I do I do get it. People, if you're playing pro like for a tournament, you're gonna play five in the back. Drop back. I don't blame you. You're gonna try to win. I'm not gonna blame you. But
Hell
if
yeah.
you're just playing for fun against some, ratty kid across my street, if you're playing drop back, man, you're like 9 and 10, like man, you gotta stop. That's when it pisses me off. But
So
Love it,
many
yeah,
bro.
people playing 3-5-2. That's what I
oh
did.
man, no one has fun
Yeah.
with the game, man. Oh man,
I love 3-5-2 though. I played that as well in pro
yeah,
clubs, so it
I play
works
yeah,
three
out
four
yeah,
good.
three because of how open it is. I'll be honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love 3-4-3 because it's just like it's such a back and forth game. I love it.
Hmm.
It's so great. But look, either way, I think no matter what, man, we're super great to have you on the show today, Christian. I think
Amazed to be
next
here,
time
man.
we'll definitely get you on for the next one. Get Andre back in here. He's got probably dumber takes than I have when it comes to certain shit. But at the end of the day, like he's a big Real Madrid fan, one of my really good
Yeah,
friends, and I think he personally is so curious about content creation because again, he and I don't live in the world that you and Alina live in, where you guys get to do
yeah,
this every day, every week. So always great to pick y'all's brains. I think before we wrap up, really quickly, man, I want to give you the floor, 20, 30 seconds. Anything that you're working on, man, anything you're excited for, whether it comes to you on a personal level or your content creation career, throw it out there, man. Whatever it may be, let's make sure everybody knows about it, and then we'll kind of wrap this thing up.
yeah. So FIFA 23 coming up, man. So a lot of more content on Twitch, YouTube for sure. So Christian_XE7 on both platforms. I'm getting really into a lot of more graphic design too on Instagram, man. So you guys like some dope football pictures, man. Like some crazy out there type of pictures, man. Christian.xe7 on Instagram, over there as well. I am doing a lot more on TikTok as well. Some more content there. We just passed over 11K on TikTok, so that's crazy. But yeah, man,
Good
you guys can
shit.
always find me there. To be crazy. New year, hopefully, it's good. I'm very excited. But yeah, I'm just really happy to be here and being on the podcast. First podcast too, so it's pretty crazy. It was
Yeah,
very,
bro.
very fun. Thank you for having me as well, man. For sure.
Absolutely. Crushed it. And thanks again for joining. And look, guys, we'll link both Christian's Twitter and his Instagram in the description of the episode. Feel free to give him a follow, give him a shout, tune into his stream. We'll include his Twitch channel on there as well. And look, I'm sure we'll have him again. I think that it's going to be one of many, right? We're going to continue to have more guests on the show, talk to more of these content creators who are doing really cool things to build community, to build audiences, and hopefully do what we're all trying to do here, grow the fandom and the culture around the beautiful game. So again, Christian, really appreciate it, man. Great having you. And look, guys, that's a wrap for us. Before we wrap up here, again, I want to mention really quickly, Box to Box is presented by GOLZtv. GOLZtv will be launching on September 26th. Mark your calendars. We're super excited about it. And again, GOLZ.tv is going to be your place to find unlimited, 24/7, free to consume footy content. Whether you're into Twitch, gaming content on FIFA, the way that these two are, or you're looking for more of the IRL stuff, vlogs, podcasts, anything else, it's all going to live in one place, and we're super excited to bring it to you. But look, guys, that's a wrap. Alina, thank you so much. Christian, thank you so much. And for Box to Box audience, we'll catch you guys next time. See ya.